everyone, and welcome to Roll For It. Today we have another episode of Valtorn for you. We hope that you've had a wonderful week. We've missed you. We've missed everything. We left on quite a cliffhanger. And of course, we do have a new person with us. So I'm going to first and foremost welcome by Connie Chang to our Roll For It family. Give some roll love in chat for Connie. And also, if you don't mind introducing yourself, tell people who you are, where they might have seen you before or can go see you in the future. Also, just so you know, I have put in my will that Connie will be writing my obituary, so.
We were talking about how I'll orchestrate that happening in the first place, too. So hello, everyone. I am Connie. My pronouns are they, he, and she. You might know me on Twitter and or TikTok at @byconniechang. That's BYCONNIECHANG. I am perhaps best known for my GMing and creative producing work on Transplanar RPG, which is an odd transgender, people of color led, 100% homebrew TTRPG stream set in an original non-colonial anti-Orientalist multiverse. Our first main campaign just wrapped up. Our podcast is almost catching up to our stream backlog. We're in the middle of doing a lot of really cool hiatus programming on Transplanar RPG. I'm personally in the midst of producing a series of God Killer RPG one-shots, which is an original PBTA game that I have written, designed, and producing, etc., built for one player, the God Killer, and one GM, God. So if you like killing deities, you should check it out. We're running every Saturday at 8 p.m. US Eastern Time. Really cool tables with guest GMs and guest God Killers on our channel. I believe this weekend, so in like 2 days, on Transplanar RPG's channel is going to be Sephi, so Persephonoth and Jess Parsons from the Dungeon Run.
Cool.
As
I want to come kill a god.
Killer. Listen, you're always welcome to kill a deity on my table, Maggie. And outside of that, on our 3-year channel anniversary in June, so Pride Month, we're going to be debuting a campaign 2. So if you want to get in on the ground floor of consuming like Transplanar RPG main campaign content from Arc 1 Day 1, then give us a follow on Twitter, Twitch, and wherever you pod your casts. And that's me. I'll toss it back to you, Maggie.
All right, perfect. Thank you for the awesome intro and, of course, for joining us today. We are very excited. We don't know other than, Kai Bear knows what they're playing, but we have not seen, so we don't know anything other than a name, which doesn't necessarily give us much. But I'm sure it's going to be exciting. I think Drax pooping his pants. He's not sure what's going to happen, but it's okay. Mintala might get another wife. Who knows? We'll see.
No, no, God, no.
I had to.
Don't plant that seed, not again.
Look, I'm just putting it out there. We've all agreed that we're down with relationships.
Stop putting it out there. Don't put it out there.
We're just manifesting it for you, okay?
Oh, God.
All right. And of course, we would like to thank our sponsor today. Thank you, Roll20, for sponsoring us. We super duper appreciate it. If you haven't checked out Roll20 and you're curious how we've done our rolling, our character sheets, in previous games, you've seen card stuff, map things, all kinds of goodies. That has all been done through Roll20. We highly recommend it if you're looking for a fun way to interact with your people who maybe are, too far away from you. You can have a little sesh together online. It's great. And of course, if you would like to keep yourself warm, because apparently this is the longest winter ever, you can head on over to designbyhumans.com/shop/roll4 and get yourself a nice sweater, a mug, so you can put some hot cocoa in there, whatever it might be. We do have t-shirts and stuff like that, but I feel like it's not been t-shirt weather quite yet. In fact, some people are still getting snow. It's madness. And we would like to thank our supporter today, which is Finley Shards. Thank you, Finley, so much supporting us and continuing to support us. We really do appreciate it. And if you would like to become a supporter like Finley, you can head on over to our Patreon, where you can get access to our privately GM'd game if you're in a legend tier or above, as well as, which Kai Bear is GMing. And it may affect the game that we're playing, which is pretty exciting.
Oh, yeah, it will. They made decisions. Made decisions.
Okay, well.
Yep.
I'm worried.
I'm not sure if I should say thank you or...
No, they threw me for a loop, I will say.
Yeah, they always tend to. And of course, we have lots of other goodies over there, like after shows, which we'll do after this show, character sheets, and all kinds of goodies. We will have new character sheets because we leveled up last episode. Woot! So we got some new things for y'all to see us utilize this episode and beyond. And of course, you can become a Twitch sub over here and get access to our VODs in advance, as well as emotes. And on YouTube, you can become a YouTube member and get access to some of those emotes as well. And whether you're a YouTube member, a Twitch subscriber, or a Patreon supporter, you can head on over to our Discord where you get private access to us. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of chatter in Failtorn chat regarding this, and of course, other things. And we know that not everyone can support us in a monetary way, so there's lots of ways to support us non-monetarily. We want you to take care of you and your family first. Don't worry about us unless you have some extra cash to spare and you're liking the show. You can watch live right here on Twitch, and if you're watching live, make clips for us, please. We love them. We will definitely be doing some fun montages of those, and of course, you may see them spotlighted on our social channels. You can head on over to our YouTube and watch over there, subscribe, like, comment, and of course, follow us on Twitter and Facebook, like, share, and retweet, all of that stuff. It's all good. In fact, right now, talking to everybody in this cast too, you can retweet the tweet. Please go do that if you haven't already. Do it. I normally probably get about reminding people about that before the show, but of course, head on over, do that. Even if you don't have a lot of followers, I know sometimes people go, but I only have 1 follower. I have no followers. It doesn't matter. It's really about the algorithm seeing like a lot of people interacting with things. So just please do it. It matters so much to us, and it makes a big, big difference. And of course, with that, you're sick of hearing me talk, so I'm going to hand it over to our lovely GM Kai. Go ahead and take it away. Oh, and I got some popcorn ready. I'm going to be watching whatever happens with Chuck.
All right. We left off with a little bit of a cliffhanger this time. So as we always do, we start out with the camera in the clouds coming down through the streets of Chicago, the brick and mortar brass Art Deco city that has risen itself from the ashes of this apocalypse. We go to a small cafe owned by the friend of Kyoko, her former fortune-telling studio, now turned into a coffee dealing shop. We see inside a tall, broad-shouldered man with black slicked back hair, infernal tattoos going up the esophagus to the bottom lip with a silver tongue. Giovanni. Staring at Chuck. Go on. Hey, it's Chucky. Oh, it's good to see you, boy. As he kind of puts a hand on the chair in front of you.
Get on.
Muted.
I thought you were dead.
Okay, we're gonna start with this then. Everybody out. Everyone. Kind of looks up, and all of the guys that came in with him kind of like give him like a look, and he goes like, do I have to repeat myself? Everybody get the fuck out of here. And then everybody, the baristas, owners, citizens, just stand up and start walking out.
Is he directing that at us too, or just the other people?
He kind of looks at Chuck and then looks over at your people. Like, you want them to stay for this conversation, or is this something between us?
You guys can go.
You sure?
I'm positive.
Can Kyoko get a feeling from Chuck? Like, does he really want us to go?
If you are getting any feeling, nothing is certain.
Okay. Cool. Kyoko will just nod and kind of scoop up Mentala and kind of motion Azuka, like nod and kind of motion him.
We're actually going? Oh, okay. And I'll walk by, and I'll give Giovanni just like a look up and down, and I don't know, if I can I gauge his fighting prowess? Like,
sure.
From I can't remember his name, but from the train we saw someone who seemed to be part of his gang, and I could tell that he had like decent stances when it came to boxing.
Go ahead and give me a perception check to kind of gauge his physicality Being a muscular person and being somebody who fights actually does work different muscles. So if you have show muscles, different things pop up and develop. So I feel like very easily you could shift, like knowing exactly what you're looking for, being as skilled as you are, easily done.
Perception's not great, but let's see. 14.
Okay.
5 on the die.
Naturally, he is a large man. Definitely doesn't skip on burgers. You can't gauge whether or not he would be entirely capable in a fight because of that. Italian suits are designed to really broaden the body, cover up the shoulders, so you really don't know if those are his shoulders or pads or what's going on. But the way he carries himself is with a lot of confidence. You feel like that if something was to happen, whether or not he himself will do it or someone else will step in, he doesn't really have a lot of fear.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, and
I'll
as-
wordlessly leave.
Yeah, as like Azuka's walking and I walk past Giovanni as well, Kyoko just says, "Now remember to play nice."
Hey, Kiki, you know me. I would never play unfairly or bad in my town. You know.
I might have believed that at one point, Gio, but I don't know if that's the same you as it is now.
I'm the same person I've always been. I just have a little bit more grandiose nature.
I like how you assumed she was talking to you.
Ooh, you got little quips in you now. I like that.
As
Kyoko smiles at Chuck
Kyoko-
and we'll start. Oh, go ahead.
as Kyoko was scooping up Mintala had been playing with like the car control watch. He slides that across the table back to Chuck before Kyoko takes him.
Without even looking, Chuck just kind of grabs it with his hand.
And I guess you're alone with Pops.
All right, Chucky.
Let me take a seat. Takes a seat opposite you, so it's just you two in these leatherback chairs riveted on the sides with a nice table between you two. It's solid environment. In this state of like heightened anxiety and adrenaline, the coffee smells rich in your nostrils. The feeling of everything around you. Your thoughts going? I'm assuming what happened? How did this go? Like, what is going on? I was at your funeral, man.
You know, the man I knew would call me Chucky. I don't know if I know you.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Because, I would never lie to you. If I had a choice. Back in Los Angeles, we had a lot of fun. It was a good time. I definitely felt of you as my own, But people started turning against us down there. There was this man, the face of shadows, messing up our operations. The feds were closing in, and I didn't see much of a future there. So I did what needed to be done, and I got myself out of there. Got witness protection. Got sent here. Then
That's
when
how
the
you
terror,
faked your death.
I was never the smartest, but a little help from the outside, it's always good.
Then what about the note you left?
That was the finalization of things. I'm no good for you, Chucky. Look at me. I knew you were better than this life. You were so smart. Look what you've done. I'm so proud of you. Family couldn't take you. The life couldn't take you. The tear couldn't take you. You fucking did it on your own.
You have no idea. You were supposed to be better than this life. You were the one that wanted out.
I wanted it to be done better. I have the city. Chucky. The way the family was being run in Los Angeles was, it was cruel. We got fairness here. It may, we have people pay their tithe. It's Texas. We have protection. We have my men, and it's the police. I'm the governor. What's the difference between me and the mayor of Denver?
The mayor of Denver isn't twisting an arm to earn what he got.
Twisting an arm. People here are safe, Chucky. In the hellscape,
From the monsters
there was
outside, sure.
Yeah.
But what about the ones within?
Hey, the ones within come from their own choices. I just give the freedom to choose.
An illusion.
It ain't no illusion anymore, Chucky. I've made it reality. I made it reality. I make deals. I'm young. Hey, look at me. I'm as spry as you are. Hey, you see, you got some gray. As spry as you used to be. But, man, we've done, it's been good. Come on, be happy to see me. I raised you.
Right now, everything just feels like a lie.
Hey, it was a necessity. I couldn't have you be wondering where I am, following me. Because let's be honest, Chucky, if you would follow me here, you'd be still doing that. You needed to be your own man. You're always better than what I could give, better what I could provide there. I was an anchor to your feet, man. You were drowning in the river. I couldn't let you die with me. So I did what I had to. Then I saw the opportunity here. We both doing good.
This does present an opportunity.
Doesn't it, though? I mean, you're here now. You got ammo. I got Chicago. Hey, we can make a good deal. We can make this place a utopia. Eh? Work with your man again. Sorry, I'm getting my head myself. Why are you here? What brings you?
Apparently, I'm traveling with an old friend of yours.
Yeah. Is that so?
But we're not staying.
Is there anything I could do to change that? Be lovely to have another family at the table.
Yeah, well, knowing you, you'll surely try.
I mean, I want my kid to stick around. What parent doesn't love when their kid comes back from college, you know? You might need a bit or two to get on your feet. You can stay at my place. That's what parents are for. When you're down, I help you.
I don't need your help.
I got years to make up for now, Chucky. And you don't need my help. You're Mr. Ammo, but outside Los Angeles, I mean, what does that mean? We have a connection here, though. You have LA, the city of angels. And I got the Windy City. Two of the few bastions left in the States, Chuck. I mean, look at us. We're basically kings of this place. And who would have thought two little rats like us, you know? The mechanic and the made man. Getting this far. You know, we were dreaming of mansions in the hills, but now look at us. We own the hills. I thought you'd be happy.
Why? I don't know if I'm meeting the person who adopted me or the person who killed my parents.
No, it was not my decision. I thought I explained everything in my letter.
At the end of the day, pulling the trigger is a decision.
I could have been anybody. If it wasn't me, it would have been Philippe. If it wasn't Philippe, it would have been Antonio. If it wasn't Antonio, it would have been Stevie. If it wasn't Stevie, it would have been Don. But like, you see, the person doesn't matter. It was the decisions. Thought I explained all of this to you, Chucky. It's never the small fry. It's always the heads. And you know I regretted that. You know I regretted hurting you. Your parents were good people. They got caught up in the wrong time. Wrong place, wrong time. Wrong shop, wrong car. Wrong customer. And I take that to heart, and I did right by you afterwards.
You know, looking back on that, was it out of guilt and obligation? Or did you actually care? Because the man I knew wanted to earn those hills, earn that house the right way. And right now, all I see is another head. Another person making the decisions. Another person who decides who pulls the trigger on another person's parents.
I took care of you. Because it wasn't right. What happened? You know that. You know I didn't agree with it. But an order's an order. And I did. For you. What not only gave you the best chance of not falling into that life, because if I didn't pick you up, the Don would have. He would have seen your smarts. He would have put you in his shop. He would have turned you into the next made man.
And what's the difference between that Don and the one that's talking to me now?
I don't
Talking
hide.
about making a deal with the fact that I own Los Angeles. The fact that I control ammo, one of the largest manufacturing of weaponry and ammunition in the world.
We need weapons, Chuck. We got devils at the front door. We got
You know,
trees that walk. That kill
You didn't
us.
even ask how I am.
Look
You didn't
at
even ask what I've been up to.
Could it be any different? I know the man that I raised. I know how capable you are. I see the magazines. I didn't have to ask. You're a public figure.
And you should know smoke and shadows and mirrors better than anyone else.
But that, my friend, is the beauty of Chicago now. We ain't hiding in no shadows. We are the law. We are the government. We are the society. We provide safety. We provide food. We provide shelter. We provide opportunity, schooling, understanding of the new environments, potential, and we provide freedom. Because here, everyone does them here. If you stop someone from doing them, that's when you talk to us. Those are the laws of Chicago. Don't be an ass. Let people do what they do. Don't interfere with other people. You make a bad deal, that's on you. Make a good deal, you help everyone. As simple as that. But you tell me right now, above board, there is no difference between what we have as a family here running this place and what your government had before. We're just more open about it.
Well, Gio, abiding by your rules, not to mess with anyone else's plans and let them move along. We're just passing through. Much obliged. And he'll stand up.
As you stand, he like puts a hand on his side. Hey. How long are you in town?
A few days.
You see, as you stand up, the visage of the confidence and the posturing of the Don Giovanni fades away, and you see the bullet again. You see the man that you know. He kind of goes back, and you see like the same kind of like worry that he's had when you came back with bruises from being beaten up. At the same time, your first black powder charge exploded in the man who rushed to hold your hand when it was singed. He goes, "While you're here, let me help. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to be a part of your life the last 30 years, but you could stay at my place. I got beds. I got plenty of beds, Chuck. You should see the beds. They're nice beds. You could eat my food. I don't care. Let me help. Actually, Cien." And he calls out to somebody outside. And where everybody is waiting outside, you see a figure walk up to the door and enter in. And Connie, if you would like to explain what they see.
Yeah. So for the rest of the PCs who are outside, you'll have noticed this figure leaning against like a lamppost, smoking a cigarette. And they were not really making themselves known until this point. And when they make themselves known, by God are they known. So Tian Cheng is an elf with light brown skin and a face like thunder. In one word, it is electrifying. They have a jaw like cut marble, eyes as black as coal, and neck-length, wine-dark hair shaved on the sides with a single braid coiling down from their temple to touch their chin. And as Tian Cheng walks into the coffee shop, we see that they wear black leather armor with these white leather straps and gold buckles, particularly around their belt and around their vambraces, which are the spotlight of their outfit. They wear a pair of these sleek black gauntlets with an elegant mechanism of sorts at the wrist. And finally, hovering behind their head at all times is a literal halo. There is a corona of golden light that elevates their already striking appearance. And as the door swings shut behind them, they kind of they flick the cigarette onto the ground and kind of stub it out with a boot, and they cock a crooked smile in Giovanni's direction. Gigi, what's up? What do you need me for? Oh, this must be Chucky, right?
Yeah.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Yeah, we told you about him. He's the man, the myth, the legend.
Ah, yes, the ammo thing, right?
Yeah. Now, Chuck, this is a lovely associate of mine. Been with me for many years. One of my personal favorites. I love him.
Please,
I love him.
Gigi,
You know I love you.
making me
You know I
blush.
love you.
Oh, I do. And you know I love you too, Gio.
Oh. Let's show you around the city.
Oh, I would be honored to be a tour guide to Chicago for you. And your friends, of course, if you would oblige.
To take a step back, Azuka, being outside and seeing this figure, the literal opposite, the yin to your yang of creation, what does that feel like to you? What does that look like to you?
I was literally thinking exactly that when I realized what Connie was playing. I think so. Connie described the character as they didn't make their presence known, but I think everyone didn't notice Shang, but me. I think the moment I stepped out, my eyes immediately darted to them, and I think Azuka didn't really understand why, but I think the Duke was very aware of why. And as they walked by, I followed them my gaze followed them as they walked by, and the moment they go back inside the cafe, I think almost like that. To Azuka felt like a trance, but I think it was in fact just like not fear or worry, but like it's like a predator realizing there's another predator around, being like just need to keep an eye on them because they could be either a danger or at the very least a nuisance later on.
Now, is this Azuka recognizing Xiansheng, or is this Drac recognizing Connie? So
I'm in love with Connie's character, so I think it's Azuka. No, I think Azuka, and then I think the moment they lose line of sight, it's almost like that animalistic like gauge this predator, gauge a potential opponent kind of snaps, and I'm gonna try and like retreat into myself and speak to the Duke, because I think that this was the Duke doing this, like keeping an eye on them.
Roll me I guess we'll make it a will save to try to go inward into that space, since it's like one of the few times you've attempted to go in.
Yeah. Oh, that was pretty bad. 17. That's a 6 on the die.
You try to force your consciousness inward, and you feel this. You start to see the world go white, and then you feel this static and this reverberation, and then you're back out of it, and it was unable to. There was too many distractions. The literal halo in front of you, the stimulus of that hitting your eyes was so hard to ignore and to look inward. It was just so close.
I think so I guess I describe it for Connie, because I don't think we've actually described a character for Connie. But Azuka, or Azu, is about 5'6", 5'7", black person with dreads that just end just below, just above like the jawline. They have, I think right now, like chains wrapped around both arms, or one arm, I think it is just one arm.
One arm.
But beneath the chains and on the other forearm, you can see wraps with arcane sigils wrapped around them. And I think the most telling thing is that he looks pretty much human, but the most inhuman thing about him is he has like a tail, a very devilish tail coming out from behind him, and it's kind of like a purplish blue with an iridescence to it when the light hits it just right. I think his tail kind of became like very still when Xiansheng was out there, but in the moment they're back inside the cafe, kind of sways again, as if it's like, okay, I can relax now. But again, all of this is kind of involuntary to them, and as they see they can't retreat back into themselves, they kind of, I don't know, like flex and clench their fists as if they're getting ready for something to go down.
As you recognize the like predator recognizing predator sort of moment, right? And you fix your eyes upon the back of Tiansheng's halo, which is just this corona of light, right? It's just like a circle of light, literally just hovering behind their crown at all times. One of their elven ears twitches as if sensing something behind them, and they turn to look at you. Oh, hi there. Aren't you a cute little thing? You must be one of Chucky's friends. There's something about you that feels... I'm sorry, this is so corny of me. Have we met before?
I don't think so, unless you've been to LA.
LA? Oh no, I've never been to LA before, though I've always wanted to go out west. I've never had the chance, though. Gigi was so kind as to take me in as soon as I came here from the old world. Oh, but that was lifetimes ago. Well, welcome in. Welcome to Chicago. I assume this is your and your friend's first time here?
Yeah.
So you would notice Kyoko next to Azuka, immediately clicking that this is the lucky charm, the person that helped Giovanni in the beginning. And he talks a lot about when he started having this guide and confidant for certain things.
Ah, and you must be Kyoko, Gigi's lucky charm, his good omen. What an honor to meet you. In the
Kyoko will
flesh.
extend a hand, and when she does so, she's trying to gauge if this person is because I don't know your name either. She doesn't, she's trying to gauge if this person is a shapeshifter or some sort of thing like that. And then the other element of it is reading like their psychometric resonance on them potentially. But she'll shake your hand. She does this passively, the other stuff passively, and says, well, it's nice to meet one of Gio's friends, I suppose. I wouldn't call myself
Tiancheng.
a lucky charm. Kyoko.
Tiancheng does not shake your hand. They take it and they kiss it. They like kind of bow down and like kiss the tops of your fingers and like let you go very elegantly. And they have a kind of twinkle in their wine dark eyes as they look up at you. Tiancheng, the pleasure is all mine. Charmed.
Kyoko, make me an occultism check.
All right. Ooh, 24.
So with that, you don't really get any sort of vibe of disguise or anything like that. You do understand a deceptive, persuasive, slight manipulative, but enticing nature. It's more of this person's probably really good at convincing, probably really good at talking, very good at
Game meets game. Gotcha.
yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think Tiancheng
Very
looks at you.
ambassador energy.
Yeah. And recognizes that you're kind of sizing them up a little. And as they pull away, they smile again. And by way of explanation, say, well, you see, I'm not from this world originally. My family originates from the old world. And oral histories and all of that passed down that once we were diplomats, very high level diplomats, in fact. But then, of course, the Great Tear happened and well, we lost everything. And there is a shard, like a glass cutting into palm, of deep grief and sorrow that flashes across Tiancheng's face for like just an instant before they like cover it back up with a smile. But all that's in the past now, and I do owe Gio my life in every sense of the word, so I am more than happy to serve all of you as he sees fit.
At that moment is when Giovanni goes, "Hey, Sia, come on, Sia-chan, come on."
And Kyoko
Yes,
feels that shard that you have lingers deeper for Kyoko as she kind of empathetically feels that for you.
Make
And she
me
says-
a perception check when you're done.
Ooh, okay. She says to you, well, it appears that we're both from the same place then. As you walk forward.
Well, you claim heritage from the old world as well. Do you remember anything of it?
Indeed, I do. Very much so. But seems someone's looking for you. Something we could chat about in the future, I suppose.
I would be more than happy. And you, and they turn to look at Azuka when they say that. I would love to talk with you as well. I feel something of a kindredness with you. But yes, Gio, I am at your beck and call. And Tiancheng sort of saunters off in Gigi's direction. Gigi.
As Sinchong is walking inside with that perception, you realize that there is very much a disconnect between the grief that you felt and the grief that was shown. Like the grief that you felt in your psychotic resonance with somebody, your emotional resonance, was much less than the expression that they had. So you see that either it was like played up or used or some kind of show of practiced emotional display.
Gotcha.
As Xiancheng goes inside.
Intriguing.
Yes,
Once the door closes, Mintala, I feel like he's probably just still chilling in Kyoko's offhand. It's just like, hey Kyoko, how are you feeling right now? Like a little bit tense, a little bit chill, anything at all?
Well, there's definitely something strange about that one. But I think it's more a skill set than anything else. I'm more concerned about what's going on inside there. Gio's not who he used to be. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, it just seems all real tense in there. Kind of seems like the Gio guy, the kind of guy that might just decide to kill someone at any moment. And that other person seems like the one who works out how. So I'm feeling a little
Well, Mentala,
If you're feeling
I will
good, then
say
I guess
this.
we're okay.
I think that you are right on the nose in regards to that. The vision I saw, it's not a pretty one.
Okay, all right.
I
I'll
think
be
it's
ready.
part of some kind of mafia here in Chicago. That's probably why all those people left so quickly from the shop.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. I'll be ready if something goes wrong. And I just like sidle off Kyoko's palm, turn it on the shoes. So I'm just like walking through the air, and I sidle over to the car and I just like knock a little bit on the window. Red is inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Open the door.
like everything's cool at the moment, but just like be ready to maybe go barreling through the front of the shop and get into a fight. But it's not. It's good. It's good now. It's good now. Just be ready.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. One second. Okay.
As this large creature now fights his way out of Betsy.
Okay. Ooh, ready.
As he kind of like
go.
gets in a posture. Back inside.
I insist that Xiansheng shows you around.
What does Xiansheng see when they look at Chuck?
His head's just kind of down. You can see a little bit of a tear forming in his eye. As he's Gio's hand, I imagine, grabbed like his forearm as he was stepping out of the booth.
Yeah.
And so he's clearly emotional, and clearly just trying to leave the situation in the moment.
Let me, show you. I ain't all just words and bluster, I promise. If this is a possibility, I want you to know at the end of the day, I am a good guy.
I'm sure we'll talk again.
So please. Except I have things I need to do today, but this was a blessing. To see you again. I did miss you. And I'm happy you survived. Because, man, I was worried. I worried a lot about you.
I didn't worry about you.
I guess you would have no need to.
And he'll kind of walk out, and before he walks out the doors, he'll just turn around and say, "You coming?" Not to Gio, to Xian.
Xian Cheng's expression, looking at the discussion between the two of you, is one of like very intense study. They're like looking very closely at the dynamic that's springing up between the two of you. And as they turn to face you, they smile again and say, "Of course." And perhaps it's easier to show than to tell the kind of great initiatives that Gio's trying to enact for the city. Gio, perhaps I could even show your old friends around the soup kitchens you're trying to set up and the little community centers.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
When you were watching very intently into this interaction between the two, can you give me a perception check?
Oh,
Like
absolutely, I
for like
can.
an insight into this.
I'd be more than happy. This is also, fun fact, my first time playing Pathfinder, so if I'm a little slow rolling things, that's why. My first real
no.
time.
All good. I think
So
most of us.
perception is going to be
Don't
on the
worry,
far right
same.
side. Way down.
I
Yeah.
think most of us is fast.
Yeah, very much the same.
I see. Oh my god. I can't find. If you wanted to roll it for me,
It's down.
go for it.
It's on the right hand side under hit points. Scroll down. It's like perception, and then you'll see
Oh,
perceive and
yes.
initiative
Yeah, it's underneath
wonderful. There-
conditions.
and above
Oh.
actions.
There you go.
It's underneath conditions and above actions. Oh, I see it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So just click on the little
roll
blue
it,
box.
Just click it.
Perfect.
I got a
Holy
30.
30.
Dang, son.
Okay. With
15.
that,
Crap.
you see a emotional vulnerability that you have never seen towards yourself in Giovanni. And there's a twinge of jealousy in the fact that he is so
Hey, it's Jackie. Yeah, it's
like he is so into this interaction between them two.
Yeah, Tian Chung can basically see the kind of influence that Chuck has on Gio, and like how much Giovanni still cares what Chuck thinks of him, right? So there's like a beat as they just absorb this, they take it in stride, and they smile and follow the party out onto the street.
I think once he had gone back in, Zeke started like pacing back and forth, and I think this is what Drake used to do before competitions when I'm really hyped up, like on an adrenaline rush before like a sprint or a big game. I can't sit still, so kind of like moving up and down. And I think Azuka's going through that same thing, almost like I just met another predator. This is like the first time I've met anyone I felt on this level with, and he can't tell us between if it's fear or like just acknowledgement of strength and respect, or caution. He can't figure it out, or excitement, but he just kind of pacing back and forth, and again very suddenly stops without even looking, but as the door opens and Shang
I think
steps
Kyoko
out.
would have said something if you were pacing back and forth.
You guys have a
Okay,
moment.
yeah, for sure, go on. Yeah, because I'll be pacing back and forth.
Yeah. Are you all right there, darling?
Yeah. I think I'm fine. I'm fine. Yeah,
I don't think
I don't know.
you're fine. And of all the people,
Yeah, no, there's something about them that I don't know. I'm feeling something. Like, I don't know. The closest I can think of that like is related maybe is either anxious or excited. I can't tell which one, honestly.
is this you or your
I can't
mind
tell
friend?
either. I mean, probably mind friend, but I tried to speak to him and I couldn't, so I don't know.
Well, silence can say a lot.
Yeah. I have no idea what he's thinking about this, but I'm feeling it regardless, so I don't know. I'm trying to, get the energy out.
All right. Well, if there's something I can do, let me know, and I'll keep my eyes open.
Yeah.
And you see
Yeah,
her
I think
ears
all I
kind
can
of
tell is
trying to like listen in on the room. One ear kind of twitching that way and the other kind of listening to you.
As this happens, you hear the ding ding as the door opens up. Chuck walks out, followed closely by Xianchong.
And Tianchong is kind of saying in like a low, kind of private tone to you, Chuck. Like, so it's kind of just the two of you. But anyone who wants to eavesdrop in can hear what they're saying. I think it's not like super, super low whisper. And Tianchong is saying, Chuck, if I may be so bold, I know what it's like to lose someone I love very much. Many someones indeed. And believe me, there is nothing in this world I wouldn't trade for even a second more to spend with them. I never got to say goodbye. I know this is a lot to take in. I mean, for all intents and purposes, Giovanni is a ghost come back to life, clawed into being as a revenant to you. But see this as what it is, Chuck. It's an opportunity to make things right.
Are you saying he's a revenant?
No. That was just a manner of speaking. Sorry, words borrowed from the old world.
I assume you have your own vehicle?
As in, and Tianchong cocks their head to the side. A literal vehicle? Oh, one of those, what's it called? Car things.
Well, if you're going to be showing me around town, I imagine you'd need to be able to transport in some way.
So you did come in the car with everyone else. So it's very rare that you've ever had to drive. You've always been provided for because you are so high up and taken care of at this point.
I don't know if they know how to drive, actually. They probably have a
not.
chauffeur. So they go, yes, one of those little underling bullet things. They drive the vehicle for me, and I usually sit in the front. I like to roll the window down. It's nice with the breeze against my skin. But Chuck, really, I mean what I say. And you changing the subject isn't going to make that pain you feel in your heart go away anytime soon. Believe me, I know.
As that is said, Giovanni has collected himself and has left the cafe. Hey, enjoy your day, please. Sanchong, you make sure they pay for nothing, you know?
Yes, of course. I'll put everything on the company card or whatever the saying is. I'll see you tomorrow morning, bright and early, after, the thing I have to take care of tonight.
Of course. And he kind of has his little bow and walks away. He's immediately flanked by other mafiosos, taken into another Duesenberg and driven away.
Bye-bye, Gigi. See you for brunch.
Bye-bye.
All right. So do you all want to go to a tourist trap first or see what Gigi's been working on in Chicago?
I'll let you lead the way. But again, my friends will follow in my car. I'll ride with you.
Oh, well, why don't all of you ride with me? The car's plenty big enough. And it's so lonely with just the two of us, don't you think? I mean, I'd love to get to know Azuka more and the charming Kyoko, and I haven't even really gone to introduce myself to Mantilla.
Hi.
Hello. Are you small? Is that the thing? Like you're a
9 inches tall.
character?
He's like,
Okay.
yeah,
He's
like a little.
I think like
berry.
he was floating. He was in Kyoko-san for a bit, and then he was floating for a bit. He's now probably climbed up onto the shoulder of Red, which is a 6 foot tall and probably like 5 foot wide amalgamation of building materials that is alive and bipedal.
Oh my goodness, look at the two of you. One small, one tall. Hello! Charmed to meet both of you.
Yeah, I'll ride with you.
I'm honored. And of course, there's more than enough room in the car for even your big, tall, red friend here.
Alright, sounds like a plan.
Well then,
Wonderful.
I guess we have a plan in place.
Red leans in really close to Mentala.
Do I
It'll
break
be nice
the door
to
now?
No, it's all good.
Okay, yeah.
It'll be nice to see how Chicago's changed since I was here last.
Oh, I assure you, it's changed plenty. And I'm so
Already?
excited to show you all the transformations this wonderful city has gone through.
I've already seen quite enough, but I suppose it doesn't hurt to see more.
Well, the four of you, and you of course, Red, are my honored guests. So if there are any pit stops you'd like to make while we're driving through town, any food stalls you'd like to stop at, just say the word and I'll make sure the car pulls over. All right, in we go. Ooh, I haven't gotten the chance to be a tour guide in so long. Ooh, I think we're gonna hit up a tourist trap first, and then one of those soup kitchens. Who says we can't mix business and pleasure, huh?
So you turn, and there is one mafioso who had stayed behind who has a .45 caliber bullet tattooed along his jugular, and he opens up the door for you specifically as you start walking towards the car.
Yeah, doesn't even really acknowledge him, just sort of steps in excitedly and like sort of flips their hair like in front of their shoulder. Oh, yes, and then after the bean, maybe, is that what it's called or what it used to be called? Oh, kitchen number 2, and they like sort of keep talking to themselves as they let the door be closed behind them.
So Red leads the way to the new car and kind of gives like a worried look towards Mentala, because your car, the Chuck's specific Duesenberg, has been reinforced to be able to hold the weight of Red. So he kind of goes like,
Yeah?
Hey Chuck, you know this kind of thing. Do you think this thing can carry Red? I could desummon him for a little bit.
You can keep him summoned. Betsy will be following behind us the whole way.
Okay, you can spend the time with Betsy then.
Oh, okay, yeah. Alone time.
Oh no.
Poor Red.
We keep forgetting we're gaslighting Red.
oh, that's
Look,
been a
I'm not
thing.
part of that.
Full
That has
reference,
been a
Connie.
thing.
Betsy is Chuck's car, and we've convinced
Yes.
Red that Betsy's alive. And
Not
she-
we,
and
those
Chuck had a-
three have.
Yeah, those three. I've done nothing. It's been Mentala and Chuck have convinced Red that Betsy is alive and he has a chance with her. So
Yeah.
Oh, that's tragic. That's tragic.
It's beautifully tragic.
He's too happy to tell him the truth now.
Right. So with that, Red kind of walks back, gets back in the entire car shifts to one side, shifts to the others as the shocks are pushed to their limit. And Chuck, you got the controls.
Yeah, he shuts the doors. And he'll walk in. He'll open the door for the rest of his crew. So Azuka, Mintala, Kyoko, and he'll get in last.
This car is very similar to a long white limousine, almost like an old Rolls-Royce Phantom stretched out. Very lush interior. You have a full set bar. You have ample leg space. You have the window that goes up. Everybody can fit into the back if you would like. There's definitely more than enough windows that Xiancheng likes to sit next to and have the breeze go through.
Yeah, actually, I'd love to retcon and Tianchong sits in the back with the rest of them, so they don't have to do the very embarrassing passenger thing when you want to talk to your friends. Yeah, so they're in the back. Their back is to like the driver's side, so they're facing the rest of you as like part of the window's cracked down and the wind is billowing in, and they're gesturing at this like mini bar that's available. Right, please help yourself to whatever you want, and please don't be shy about asking for food or accommodations, anything like that. Gigi and I will take care of it. So please regale me with tales of your adventures across the new world. I always love collecting stories. You know, my family wasn't just diplomats, we were also storytellers in a way. A lineage of bards, one might say. I do miss it.
Well, my story isn't anything interesting.
Oh, well, I beg to differ, Azuka. I mean, I don't want to necessarily point out what's obvious here, but you clearly have something happening with your everything.
As that is said, there's the moment of Zuka just like, as the car pulls away into the street and starts driving away. So the background of you guys are moving.
Yeah. Yes, but
I mess with the watch to make sure Betsy's following.
Yeah.
That isn't important. Most of my life, I was working in a diner. So that's all you really need to know.
A diner? Oh, a place where you dine. Yes, I've heard of these.
Yes.
Oh, well, some people, what is the new world saying about greatness? Some are born with it, some have it thrust upon them. Perhaps you're one of those.
It seems like it, but I very much would like to go back to my diner.
Really? Why?
Because I have no interest in anything but that, really. My mum's work there, and I would like to work with them.
He enjoys cooking.
Cooking?
And making food for others.
Yeah.
Chuck abruptly interrupts Azuka.
Yeah,
He makes great French toast.
Thank you.
What toast? What is that?
French toast.
French.
The odd
And
thing
they, like,
about it is I don't think it has anything to do with the French.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Oh yes, the French are a people here. Yes. I have a notebook where I'm compiling all of these newfangled, new world, what have you nots. And Tianchong, when you had interrupted Chuck, very reluctantly tore their eyes away from Azuka to look at you. It's kind of like the rest of you are like, like nice set dressing. But Azuka is kind of like the main character that Xiancheng is like really interested in talking to and getting to know. And they like very quickly turn back to you, Azuka, and say, well, of course, cooking food, I think that's a lovely hobby to have. But you have an incredible opportunity here, Azuka, just like Chuck has with Giovanni. There's something brimming within your soul, is there not, that you could, well, use for good. And heavens above and hells below, we know that this place could use more good.
So, what's that building out there?
Oh, and I'm just gonna make stuff up. I've never been to Chicago myself, so I'm just gonna start making crap up. And Kevin, feel free to correct me if none of this makes sense for your world building.
Well, we'll do what we can.
Oh, that's just a hostel constructed about 12 years ago. Anyway, what do you think, Azuka?
I think it's very nice here. Not anything like LA. I think is a lot more comfortable there. But I could be here for a day or two and not get tired of it.
Oh yes, there's much to see, much to taste, much to hear and feel and explore here. All kinds of locations to visit and new sights to see and feast your eyes upon. Speaking of food, food for the senses, one might say. Looks like we're rounding the corner. We're going to be seeing one of many sightseeing vistas here. This is, and if it's okay with you, Kevin, I think maybe this is like the harbor or like near the docks or something, so we can sort
say
of
you guys
see.
took like a little scenic route. You're going next to Lake Michigan, just
Is this
having
the
a
dock
nice
that
little...
I saw in my vision?
No, this is actually more of the like residential side. So you would see like people's boats. There's a little like harbor off to the side that has a bunch of, there's actually like a couple like boat houses out there that people have been living on. Definitely when everything went down, people were like, well, time to get away from the land, built little houseboats and then took those off. And then when it was safe, came back in. You see very few cars, very few comparatively to other places in the world. It's like almost a car is like, you kind of gather as more of a status symbol than anything in Chicago to be able to have not only the fuel, but the means of repair and everything like that. So very little traffic. You guys are maintaining a very consistent pace, a lot of walking. So mainly only when you have to stop is when there's crosswalks happening.
The Lake Michigan. Behold.
It's beautiful. So how long have you been here?
For a very long time. Well, I'm an elf, obviously, as you can tell, so we are quite long-lived. My very youthful appearance does not betray my true age. I came here when the Great Tear happened. My family, we were, many things happened when the Great Tear occurred. One of the things that occurred was demons from the abyss tore their way up into the old world and chased my family across plains to here. It was a little too late. I was a little too young. I wasn't quite strong enough to stop them. I was fast and wily and cunning enough to hide, but not strong enough to stop the demons from doing what demons do. Kill.
Does it seem like they're telling the truth?
I was gonna say exact same thing.
Yeah, I'm
Roll
sus.
What I will
perception.
say, as you make the perception check, what I will say is that this story is definitely true.
Okay,
It is a thing that happened to Tiancheng.
And Xiansheng definitely does portray elves, mature to 20 and 30, then they are fully developed and grown, but they are still in like a teenage adolescent type young adult mindset for the first 150 some odd years. And you could tell this is still just a young elf who has gone through a lot. Maybe 40, 50, 60 at that point in time is what you're gauging. From this, it seems like it's somebody who was brought here and then immediately caught up into potentially Giovanni's lifestyle, hasn't had a lot of interaction with roughing the lack of concept of a diner, which is like one of the staples. Like it'd be like never going to a tavern or a bar in a Faerun existence.
I rolled a 25.
I rolled a 17.
They very much are. There is some stuff where you feel like there's a bit of a front with Kyoko. You could tell that there's definitely a mask at some points of like feigning of interest in a hostel and that kind of stuff, of like when they are looking out over a crowd, they look through the people rather than at them. And but what they say is true. But you do notice that emotional to literal disconnect.
As all of you are at the table and above the table making these perception checks, just like in the coffee shop, Tiancheng seems to notice that you all are sizing them up in this moment. Like these perception checks are like they ping on their radar. They turn and they look at all of you and there's a pause and they say,
Well, I think Kyoko's been like watching and listening to you this entire time. So she hasn't, that hasn't stopped, I feel like.
Yeah, hyper aware.
For sure. And I think Tiancheng casts their gaze around the interior of this beautiful limo, a limo-like car, and they say, well, I'm not exactly being completely forthright about everything. I'm a little ashamed to admit it, but at this point in my life, Though I do mourn my family, of course, who wouldn't? They raised me, they were everything to me. My grief and my sorrow is smaller than my rage. Rage at the demons who killed my family. Rage at a justice that cannot be righted, at a wrong that cannot be straightened. And it's disempowering, you know? To not have the means to exact vengeance, because of course the demons that felled my family are long gone. I don't know where they went. I don't know how to find them. So when I see someone who has greatness thrust upon them, and they don't use it, I'm sorry, I feel a little.
Well, that's making assumptions someone's not using what they have.
Well, are you?
Azuka definitely uses what they have. And
But you
I
don't
think
want to,
that
do you, Azuka? And Tianchong just rolls over you, like completely interrupts you and like
Yeah.
turns back to face
Kyoko will
Azu.
continue talking, even though you interrupt. But I will say this.
There is
Vengeance.
something inside you, Azuka. Something inside you that you should let out. Something that you could use, something you could bend to your will. And this is all inside your head, Azuka. None of the rest of you hear this. This is telepathic. As they're just kind of looking at you like in person, but their lips aren't moving as Kyoko continues to
Yeah,
talk.
and Kyoko's saying at the same time as that's going on in your head, well, vengeance isn't always the answer either. We've seen plenty of people enact their vengeance, and it doesn't always make you feel the best.
Vengeance is the language of justice for people who have been divested from power their whole life. Kyoko, do you not agree?
I don't agree.
Then perhaps there is a degree of naivete to the good omen of Giovanni. Perhaps there is a reason why your service is no longer needed for him.
Well, I don't think my services are needed for anyone, other than what fate wants. What
A
fate
servant
has in
of
store.
fate. Ah, yes! A servant of fate. The excuse of the privilege to sit idly by while the rest of us suffer.
Fate does not mean that you don't take action. Fate is about the paths that we take, the choices that we make. It is not to sit, but it could be to sit. Depends on what
So what
actions
choices
and non-actions you choose.
Will you make, Azuka, with the power that you have? And again, this is telepathic, as Tianchong in physical reality has turned to look at Kyoko, considering her words.
I think when he first received the message telepathically, I think this is the first time he's not surprised. He's experienced this with Kyoko, and that was the first time it ever happened. But for some reason, it makes sense that Xiang could do this, and it doesn't phase him. And he leans back and just says, or at least tries to say telepathically. I don't think he knows if he can, but he will respond telepathically if he can. I'm not a fan of fate. Never have been. Kyoko knows that.
And Tianchong's voice rings back in your head. Huh, neither am I. The idea that there's a grander design, powers above us telling us what we should do and shouldn't do, that goes against every instinct within me, yearning toward free will.
The longer this conversation goes on, at first, Azuka, there was a bit of static in the voice. And then the more the conversation goes, the static gets louder and louder. And then when you go to reply back, it gets even louder. And eventually all of it gets drowned out by this static. And Xiancheng, you feel it as it's happening, as this sort of wall is put up.
Tianchong can sense it.
As Azuka hears,
They bore me.
So now
Enough of this. I do not deal with Celestials.
Is that what they are?
It is what they appear to be, is it not?
I haven't come across any before, so I'm going to take your word for it.
Intuit from what is in front of you, Azuka. Learn.
Tianzhong can sense that they've been blocked out, and they sort of kind of physically pull away a little bit as the car starts to pull to a stop at the first of many tourist destinations. And as like the chauffeur starts to get out, starts opening the door, right, for all of you, kind of in the hustle and bustle, and I will roll stealth for this if needed. I am going to try to slip something to Azuka, like palm it to you, a slip of paper. With something
As you
written
guys
on
step
it.
out, it is this wonderfully amazing like lunch brunch spot that happens to be right on the docks with these flawless white silk tablecloths going along, pure silverware with waiters dressed to the nines, and it is a like a fisherman's wharf style, like how do I put this, a wonderful restaurant that is waiting in front of you with a slew of different shops in like a garment district behind you with all these different oddities and ends.
While you're doing that sleight of hand, I wanted to do a sleight of hand to see if I could puncture a tire.
Yes, of course. Because Sanchung is so distracted on other things and the mafioso is just like,
This is yet another day for me.
All right.
Okay.
I assume it's a stealth roll.
Yeah.
You want to go first? Nice.
38.
God.
38?
Jeez,
I got a
38.
23.
19.
Rolled a 19. Oh
They
my
rolled a 9 on the
god.
die and have a 19 modifier. What the
Jeez.
It's the second time that's happened that the modifier matches
Yeah.
the
modifier matches the
Yeah.
roll? Yeah.
Suddenly, Azuga, there's something in your pocket. You feel the weight, you never felt a hand. And then Chuck.
I rolled a 23, 12 roll on the die, 11 modifier.
I would say very much so you're able to just go and as one of the tires starts to very quietly deflate. You made a very small pinhole so that over time it'll start to show. It won't just pop and sink down
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah, I was going to say I used like a pen or something.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm cool with, like, I think Tianchong would just kind of start put on their like tourist guide face, just start showing around, pointing things out, meeting various people on the street who are like, most of them seem to know them as like part of Gio's crew, if they do recognize them at all, and like introducing you all very friendly like and polite like, and they would pay for like whatever lunch or dinner we're getting at this place, and continue to like try to show you the sights and sounds until the limo inevitably starts to truly deflate.
Yeah. You guys get
Key
through.
important detail. Do you actually give money in exchange or is it just,
It's never discussed.
yeah. never discussed.
Wherever Xiancheng goes, money is never even brought up. The restaurant you guys go to, it is full like sushi, tuna fillets, swordfish, like any sort of seafood you can think of, and it is like one of the best you've had just because of the sheer quality and freshness of this place. You'll go and get these little trinkets from different places, and Xincheng is like kind of like a little pushy, like the tourist guide who gets commission kind of thing, where it's just like, well, if you want to get this, you want to get this. Oh, well, let me take you to this wonderful shop. Anything that you guys would like to do during that interaction while at the luncheon, anything specific with the garments or knickknacks, anything you would be looking for in particular in an area? If you're
I
good,
mean,
we can move on.
Chuck would be looking for an opportunity to, because he knows he's not going to be able to say anything to Azuka because Cien is so focused on them, but trying to get a chance to just put in a word to Kyoko and Mentala.
We can say that there was definitely a moment where Azuka made an offhand comment about the color of a certain jacket that was off to side, and then Xiancheng took that as an opportunity to go arm in arm and guide them straight to it and away from everybody super quickly. So there is this moment of Mentala, Chuck, and Kyoko having this moment.
I think
I'm
in that
immediately
moment,
like,
Kyoko is kind of just Kyoko's. If we're in like trinket shops and stuff like that, sometimes stuff from the old world can show up in these places. So she's kind of just touching things and seeing if she gets any senses from anything. But when she sees that Xian pulls Azuka away, she's going to definitely keep one of their ears directed that way, but we'll be listening with the other to Chuck.
I immediately like I feel like I like as soon as this moment happens, like Mentala's like crawling up the back of Chuck's suit and like up onto his shoulder is like, okay, I don't like this. I don't like anything about this. I feel like we're being watched and controlled, and so is the whole city, and this is weird, and I'm scared.
Just keep your wits
Mentally, as you've been going around this city, it is so much energy going in so many different types. You feel this. Some sections of road are open and well traveled, and some sections feel almost oppressive. You feel this like worrying vibe from some alleys that you pass by, as if the things going there are just only danger. Like your senses of finding the path through the city, finding the safe way, finding the hidden ways, your innate connection to construction and city life is just haywire with stimulus.
I think like I on the end like the paths in this city, they are being chained and directed, and I don't like this.
Min, keep your wits about you, but it's better to be watched and agreeable than watched and conceived potentially as a danger and a threat.
That's what I'm going with so far. How... I feel like you're gonna know this better than me. How much are we in danger? This Geo guy, is he like...
A lot.
From my vision, a lot.
We'll
okay, everyone's agreed this is fucked, okay.
You
We'll discuss
guys
Geo
would have
later.
this
Oh, sorry. Everyone's
this vibe of, although you are not currently the attention of danger, you feel that it's like walking on glass. Like you are just definitely being watched. Everything needs to be careful, or if you make the wrong move, like the wrong justification for something can be used against you, kind of thing. Sorry to interrupt.
While we're sorry, go ahead.
I think Chuck was saying something.
Yeah.
We're talking at the same time.
No, you're good. I was going to say, just be wary about what you choose to share. And we'll talk about how I know Geo later.
I was thinking that was the case. But Mentala, don't worry too much. No matter where you go, there's always someone watching you. At least you know this time that someone is actively doing it. Usually, it's in the shadows.
Don't give them any information on potential weaknesses or leverage. That's all I'll say.
Okay. All right. I'll be ready. So's Red.
While Azuka and Tiancheng are off looking at this kind of off-green garment or something, like hanging on a mannequin, Tiancheng kind of leans in and says, Azuka, I have not been entirely forthright. It didn't feel appropriate to share everything I know in front of all of your companions. To be frank, I'm not sure if I can trust anyone in your party except for you because of this kinship I feel we share. Perhaps more than you even know. Check what's in your pocket when you're alone. And if you feel this kinship as well, or if you want answers, follow the instructions inside. And this is lime green, while this is forest green. Big difference, Azuka. Silly.
I think Azuka, I think he's gonna go with it, yeah. Yeah, no, my bad. I think I'm gonna go with lime green then. I think that
Lime
goes better
green.
with my skin tone.
Yes, I think it really brings out the dark of your eyes. Yes, we'll have one of these, and you know what? Why not? Throw in a forest green just for kicks.
So you go to the shop owner, who is this elderly woman, short little like long white-haired wrinkled half-elf woman, and after just kind of gives you the clothing, Azuka steps away for a second, and as you turn, she like goes to like grab your coat, and has this worried look. And Chuck, with your reading lips, you were able to catch all of the conversation between the two, for sure. And you read the old woman's lips. She goes like, I did have a bit of a question for you. There have been these, well, we'll call them upstarts, who have been coming around and asking for additional protection money. And I didn't know if that was new or if this is definitely like Giovanni never changes the amount nor the times per month that you must pay any sort of taxes. And she goes, they said to bring the money to them at this dock nearby. Just curious if that was all, good?
Is this at me?
Yeah.
Or at... Okay, cool. Yes. Tianchong sort of like leans in with like a big smile and says, Granny, there's no need to worry. We'll take care of all of it. Why don't you not worry about the payment right now, and I'll circle back tomorrow after brunch with you. Sound good?
Yes. They said that they would be coming back later, and if I didn't pay, they would be taking things.
Don't worry about it.
Maybe you could go and talk to them?
I plan on doing precisely that. There's nothing a little bit of diplomacy and, just between you and I, honeyed words can't solve.
Okay. I will bill the Russo family as usual. Thank you.
Yes.
As she kind of shuffles her way back to the back. That is something that does not happen. And it is an immediate, you walk outside and just kind of excuse yourself to go and deal with this really quick, as Chuck, you would realize this is what is happening. You know that there is another small group that is trying to develop a small section of turf here, and it's probably some young kids who are trying to, or maybe like some adults with big dreams or something, who think that they can compete against the Russo family.
Normal infighting, generally, that can occur when you become too big.
But you definitely want to deal with this now.
Yeah. The read lips, though, was for the interaction between the earlier one with Azuka talking about the stuff in the pocket.
Yeah, I was saying that you get all of it.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure interpret that correctly.
Yeah.
Trouble in paradise?
Oh, well, there's, where there is a big shark, there are always small minnows swimming around trying to get their piece of the chum. But like I was telling Granny back there, nothing a little bit of diplomacy can't solve. I'm sure that if the Russos and, these new upstarts, if we just sat down and talked it out, we could figure something out.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that you want to deal with this as quickly as possible, and it's about 2 streets down. There's a small building that is owned by these people, and you would like to go and excuse yourself for a moment to go and take care of that.
Sure thing. Yeah, so Tiancheng pauses on that and says, speaking of which, diplomacy comes knocking. I will be back very, very, very soon. My deepest apologies for having to step away as your tour guide, but my lovely chauffeur here can step in the meantime. And I think maybe this bullet is just he's not, he's just kind of muscle, just standing there. Not very charismatic.
You've never met his name. You know nothing of them. They are so interchangeable to you.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
I will be right back. And Tiancheng turns and leaves the department store.
Yeah.
And Kyoko just keeps watching them.
Do you watch as they go to do their business? Do you guys trying to follow?
I don't think she follows, but just watches as they walk away.
All right, so while Xin-Chung leaves, what do you guys do in the moment?
I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting a little tired. Perhaps we should meet them back at whatever room we're staying at. And he's saying this kind of indirectly at all of you guys, but also staring directly at this bullet in front of him, being like, can we go?
It would be preferable if you would wait for Xian Chung to come back. It's a request of the Don. So I do ask that you stay.
You do know I'm the Don's son, right?
You're gone for a while.
So is he.
Yeah.
You know this guy's not going to go against. You'd have if you want to roll a diplomacy or an intimidation or something to like.
Well, it has been a long journey. I do agree with our dear friend Chuck here. So a little rest might not be such a bad idea. It has
I'm
been
back.
quite eventful.
7 minutes pass. Brief, very, very. You've barely started talking, and then Xiansheng comes back into the store.
So there's a very specific thing that happens here. When you guys walk outside, Mintala, your knowledge of the pathways. You have the certain alleyways and buildings that have the sense of danger to them. The path that goes into that building that Xian Chung walked through was immediate, like, this is not a good idea. The door closes behind them. A couple beats pass. All of that anxiety, all of that danger, all of that goes away in a second or two. And then they walk back out.
Yeah. They look mostly unchanged. They do have like a cloth of some sort that they're like wiping one knuckle with. Specifically, I think they're wiping down the gauntlet with the little mechanism by the wrist. They're specifically like wiping that down. And they're going, like I said, nothing a little bit of illuminating conversation couldn't fix. Everything should be squared away. Though I do have something else to take care of later tonight. But that's neither here nor there. You were saying something about going to bed or going back to your quarters?
Yeah, we'd like to take a little bit of a rest, I think. Some of us
Of course.
had quite a train ride and, of course, stopping by, meeting some old friends.
I absolutely understand. Sightseeing is a full-time occupation, believe me. I'd be more than happy to escort you all back to your quarters. And I can leave you be for the rest of the evening.
That sounds lovely.
I am curious, though. That looks mechanical on your wrist.
Oh, this? And they quickly put the cloth away, as if trying to conceal something on it. They like just sort of tuck it away into a pocket, and they like lift up the gauntlet to show the mechanism. Yes, this is something that Gio was so kind as to help fashion for me when I first arrived here. You know, as a bard, a diplomat of sorts from the old world. I had a measure of magic, but most of my power was in my ability to talk. I didn't really have much in terms of self-defense. But Gio was able to make this little, let's see, how does it work? Here. And they click something in the mechanism and a blade pops out. It's maybe like 7 inches long. And it's just like a single silver blade that then fans out into like a kind of like claw-like formation, 7 inches long for each claw.
Nice.
Chuck, go ahead and make me an engineering check.
Can I do a perception check when they were trying to like hide that thing
Go
in their
for it.
pocket? Yeah. 23.
Ooh,
Because
I rolled
sleight
badly.
of
I'm
hand.
re-rolling. I'm using my hero point.
Okay.
Kevin, I'd be low.
Yes! Nat 20!
Got a nat 20.
Ooh.
So
I don't mind like tanking the response to this, Kevin, unless you have like a particular.
with a 23, I would say they get something, not everything. Maybe a little hint, but not something overtly given of an information. Chuck, with the nat 20, you know very heavily this is based on one of your early designs. This is based off the inner structure of stuff you were working on to help compact machinery for travel and then be able to still have very effective combat readiness at a moment's notice back in the day.
Which means I know the weaknesses of the device.
Maybe. If
Also,
it hasn't
Connie,
been
I
altered.
think you have to roll a stealth for me to not see what you put in your pocket. But
Oh.
I'm sure you're going to succeed on that very well after I saw your
You know
other
what?
stealth roll.
I won't roll stealth because I kind of want you to get a little bit of something about the
okay.
table. So I think you would see like the thing you get is a flash of red. That's it.
Little
Just
blood.
a flash of red on the handkerchief.
Okay.
Yeah.
At this point,
Isn't it
I'm putting
nifty?
on- I'm putting on the forest green jacket.
It seems he did remember some stuff that he's learned from me.
Oh, you designed this?
To a degree.
Oh, well, Chuck, it is inspired. It's gotten me out of many a tough bind. I don't love to use it. I would much prefer to talk, but, you know, after the Great Terror, some degree of violence and force is unfortunately necessary.
Depends on the situations you put yourself in, I suppose.
Here. And they tap the mechanism again and like the blades go back in, like they just weren't even there.
How does
Speaking of-
Mentala feel?
Oh, go ahead.
How does Mentala feel after seeing what they saw?
That is an interesting question. So did we know what that? So because there's two different things. So was that what the old lady was talking about? That was in that building. So
A threat turned into not a threat very quickly.
oh yeah. Min's like, okay, I'm pretty sure what went on in there. Based on that. Without having to look at the cloth and things like that. And so it's like, yeah, this person is dangerous. And this whole system is very scary. I think he's just continuing to be sort of scared about the whole thing and being like, we need to play this very cool and just find a good opportunity to remove ourselves safely from it and continue our journey. That's where Min is at right now. Is like I don't know if we can run away or whether we just have to keep playing along till we can leave. That's where he's at. So he's like, yeah, let's time to go rest. Yada yada.
Oh no, they have a flat tire.
There was more that wanted to be said.
Yeah, I think
Go for it.
Kyoko says in response to what Tien was saying. Speaking of the old world, where from are you?
So Connie doesn't know what Kevin has populated the old world with? What would make sense for Tianchong to be from?
You can say that there was just this, because I haven't done a lot of population of the old world at this point.
Sure.
There was a city that kind of had this influence of like high elven society. Very magically advanced, very knowledgeable. It had a lot of libraries, very main city energy.
Can I make up a name for the city?
Just go for it. Yeah, have fun with that.
Well, my family's from Aethros. Perhaps you've heard of it. It was very high elven kind of city. Beautiful in its heyday. Just, up on a mountain. When I close my eyes at night, I still see it in my dreams.
Have I heard of this place? I'm assuming I probably have.
Your village would have done a lot of trade with your artistry and in your family's artistry. I would say, yeah.
Well, of course, I've heard of that area. It's quite a nice place to be from.
Oh, perhaps you've even heard of my family. Tiancheng is my full name, of course. Formal name Tian. The Tians.
Have I heard of them?
They were a big trading partner of yours. Your family would actually go and they did a lot of different arts and culture, big business.
Well, it's a small universe after all, I suppose. My family did business with yours.
You're kidding, really? Oh,
Very
well
much
then,
so.
I must apologize for our tiff in the car. I didn't realize you were such an old friend of mine.
I didn't feel that we had a tiff, just a disagreement on how we see life, and that's all right.
Oh, yes, of course. I mean, what would we be if we couldn't resolve conflict through talking, right? I mean, that was my family's whole thing. Our power was hard in some ways, but mostly soft in money, in commerce, and diplomacy. And I do wish to carry those morals and those values over here to the new world. Though partnering with a man like Gio is he covers my weak spots, let's say, and I cover his.
I see. Well, sometimes it can be for the good and other times not so much. But I'm sure you'll make the right decisions for yourself.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. You know what? Why don't we go to the excuse me, and they quickly turn to the bullet.
Yeah.
I think there was an extra dress in the back I would love to try. We're just gonna go out to the car. Do you think you could grab it from Granny and we'll just meet you? Meet you by the limo.
Yeah, of course.
Kind of just nods.
As soon as this minion of Geo's is out of earshot, Xianzhong quickly turns back to all four of you and says, "You're in danger."
Yeah, we figured that one.
I couldn't say anything in front of Geo or in front of him, and I had to put on a bit of a farce, you understand, the perfect tour guide. But Geo has done something very, very dangerous to accrue the kind of power he has in the city.
What's he done?
He's made a deal with the devils.
Of course he has. I had a feeling something like that happened. He's not himself these days.
He's going into some kind of downward spiral of power. I can sense it. It's still in its early stages, but once you make a deal with a devil, you never really go back. They sink their hooks into you. Shot after shot of power. It's addicting. And I'm afraid that Geo has gotten quite a few shots at this point. Listen, if you flee the city tonight, it might be too obvious. I reckon he probably has men guarding the train lines in and out of the city and watching the borders. If we just keep playing it like normal, I can make an excuse and have you all gone after brunch.
All right.
That sounds good.
No objections. From me.
What do you think,
Listen.
Chuck?
I don't know you. And I don't trust you.
I'm not asking you to trust me. I'm asking you to trust your own gut. I mean, hasn't something in your gut been telling you this whole time that something is afoot? Something is wrong? I've known Geo ever since I left the old world. I saw him make those deals with the devils, and I've seen the kind of toll that takes on a man. I believe that there's still a good person in Geo somewhere, deep down inside, which is why I'm deciding to stay and fight for him and fight for the vision of Chicago he does have, instead of just leave. Because this city reminds me of Athros in so many ways. The people here, the innovation, the hope.
I could see
But
that.
There's very little room for naive optimism here. However, I've had to temper my expectations with reality. But if there's even
I will say this to you, Chuck. I haven't been gone from Chicago that long. And Geo has changed quite a bit. I think there's still that good fatherly love in there, but something else is taking over.
I'm doing my best as his right hand in a lot of ways to try to help him see the error of his ways, to help little things I do to undermine his relationship with the devils, but I can't do too much too quickly. He'll catch on.
Well, maybe there's something else that we can do.
Question for you as the GM. Is there any kind of ledger or actual written contract or something to represent Geo's relationship with the devils he's formed this contract with?
Geo does have a stash, definitely. He has private rooms that only he's allowed in. You can only assume that if there was to be something like that, it would be there. But you have never heard of him reference it. He never talks about it. And it's something where it's just never brought up.
Do I know at least the location of one? Whether
Yeah.
it's a warehouse or something? Okay, so I give an address. That's the location of one of his stashes where he locks away secrets, where he locks away documentation, evidence, any kind of connection binding him to the devils. I've never been able to access it. I've never had the chance. There are too many eyes on me. I mean, look at how beautiful I am, no offense. But maybe if you... There's something I have to take care of tonight at the docks. It's related to this little inter-family tussle. It shouldn't be too difficult for me to wrangle it, but I do have to go. While I'm there, if you all wanted to hit that location, and if Giovanni's distracted by what I'm doing at the docks, maybe there will be less manpower by the address I just shared with you before you leave tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Did I see Tian in that vision that I had of the dock? Were they the one?
You did not actually. So,
because I know there were other people around, and also there was someone who got shot. So,
yeah. A lot of your visions are based off of choices that have been made. And a very particular thing happened after your vision, which was Giovanni saw Chuck. And so things have altered a little bit. It might not be exactly the same as you saw it before. You know something's going to happen.
Then
and
I
you
will
believe
say
that there might be something that you can change of that.
Yeah, then I think Kyoko, if Xian Chung will let her, like, puts her arm kind of like on your shoulder a little bit and says, "Be careful. I kind of had a vision of whatever it is that you're doing at the dock later tonight. And Ace is going to shoot someone. I didn't see you in that vision, but perhaps things have changed."
You didn't see me at all.
I didn't.
Well, perhaps that bodes well. Like I said, violence and force is not necessarily my forte. I can defend myself if pressed, but I'm hoping to go in and talk and help them see reason.
Well,
But it looks like bloodshed?
it
that does
was
lead
in
you to
my
believe-
vision, but my visions aren't always the right thing. Sometimes different things happen than what I feel, and sometimes they don't happen at all, because like I said, really it isn't up to fate. It's the decisions we make that change the world around us.
I'd also like to say that it'd be pretty suspicious if the day we turn up is the day something of high value to him gets hit.
Well, I reckon it would be pretty obvious your crew was the one who did it, but the hope is that you'd be hightailing it out of here before he can catch you.
And maybe we could be able to save Geo somehow.
If you hit this stash and destroy or take or jeopardize whatever it is that binds him with the devils, maybe that's one more chain broken on the manacles that bind him.
Well, I'll let you know from what I know about these devils. It's very hard to break a contract. You have to find some kind of loophole, and they're very careful about those.
They're nothing if not methodical. I've never really had too much interaction with devils myself. My family was killed by demons, of course, whom I know the devils hate. That's all I really know. I suppose there's even infighting in hell. But regardless, I feel confident about my ability to handle myself at the docks. You don't necessarily have to worry about me in that regard. Is there anything else I can help you with? Any information I can arm you with about the stash? I'm afraid I don't know too much about the specifics, just its location and some details about Geo.
As you start having this conversation, the guard does come back to you guys. Goes, "All right, got the dress.
Oh,
Yeah, what happened
thank
to
you
the
so
car?"
much.
As he goes over and you see like the car is actually like now sitting on the rim. He's like, "Ah, jeez."
Yeah, I actually do have a question. Is there a toilet nearby? I need to go.
Restaurant that you guys were just at.
Yeah. I'll
Can
be
I
right
make
back.
a perception check to see if you're like specifically Tianchong wants to know if you're gonna be like running away or like fleeing or
Okay.
something.
Do I need to roll?
Okay.
I don't think
Yeah.
he's running away.
Okay,
I'll
I'm
roll.
gonna
25.
dang.
Ooh.
Totally
Nice.
believe him.
25 versus a 22.
Yeah. And I was I think it was a 12 on a die. Yeah. And yeah, I'm gonna head back into the restaurant to the toilets, and I go into one of the cubicles and lock the door, and I'm gonna pull out the note and read what was on it.
Ooh. What's on the note in a beautiful, very elegant scrawl, actually. You like don't know how they were able to do this while like in a moving car. Maybe they prepared it beforehand or something. It says something to the effect of later tonight, meet me in the lobby of your hostel. Or something like meet me alone later tonight. There's something I want to show you.
Yeah, it has the I'll be waiting for you in whatever community area of whatever like lobby area of a hotel if you're there, like the front section of an apartment complex, or wherever you guys end up.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I think I'll read this. Kind of my brows kind of furrow as I'm wondering what exactly they have to show me, but I read it and then I throw it into the toilet and flush it and head back out.
As you go to
So
leave, it's there's this, a voice in your head.
They seem to know something, but it's hard to tell the intent.
Yeah, definitely wearing more of a mask than anyone we've come across. And personally, I think that's saying something. I worked at a diner.
They said something that tipped me. They may be playing their own game. Be wary.
I'll do my best. And yeah, I'll walk back out. Let's stay in the toilets for an amount of time that makes sense.
Yeah.
For someone who used to go, but then I will
Give me a performance check. No.
like, sit there, like, how long does a normal average person pee?
Right.
But yeah,
Just pouring like a cup of water in the toilet seat.
yeah.
As you come back out, the mafia thug has already gotten a jack out from the trunk and is starting to jack the car. It's like, hey, this is gonna take some time. Where are you guys heading?
I turn to
Maybe
Chuck.
seems like we all want to have an early night in, something like that. Get a little bit of a rest in, and like Tian Chung gives you all like a very like knowing, pointed look.
Yeah, that's literally what I was saying earlier. Where's the where would Geo want us to stay? Or has he arranged a place for us?
Oh, a wonderful embassy suite. It's right down the corner, maybe 6 blocks down that way, and then a block over. And Tian Chung gives you instructions about like how to get there in your own car, or if you wanted to walk for some reason. They do pause and say, "I do have to check in with Geo about something, and I may not get to see all of you until brunch tomorrow." Again, another like kind of pointed, knowing look. And then like one lingering on Azuka for like just a touch longer than the rest, and then widely at the back at the rest of you again.
Yeah. No,
I suppose we'll meet you there. Lucky that Red could drive the car and follow us.
Yes, how fortuitous. Well, it has been nothing short of a pleasure and an immense honor to get to know all of you. I will see you bright and early for after brunch tomorrow.
Well, thank you for the nice guide through the city.
Certainly, and thank you for the lovely companionship. Have a wonderful night, everyone.
You too.
Tian Chung smiles, winks, and goes off.
You guys separate. I'm assuming get into Betsy and start driving away towards the hotel.
I still don't like this, but in a new, fun way.
We could be getting set up. As much as I want
It's
to
definitely
trust
possible.
that this stash has something that we need, I also worry that there's something else afoot.
They were also, I think, still kind of lying. They were talking about like, oh, I don't like violence and only as a last resort, that kind of thing. For the 5 minutes that they were away, they were, I'm pretty sure, killing a bunch of people. Maybe they deserved it, but they were doing that.
I was thinking something suspicious was going on with that as well.
I mean, it
I don't know
doesn't
for
mean
sure,
it's
but that's
any-
kind of that was the vibe that I got.
I mean, I don't think it means it's any less true that they don't like violence. I'm not particularly a fan of it, but we've done a lot of it.
Zuka,
Hmm.
when another family tries to encroach on your territory, the only reparation for that is blood. There is no talking. Additionally, I don't trust any of them, and we're not going to the suite.
Well, I don't think that violence is the answer either. I know that, Chuck, you've had to deal with that, but I've gone my entire life without violence until I met you all.
So had I.
Needless to say, their focus was on Azuka, and they obviously might know something. I don't trust them. And I hope you wouldn't either, Azuka. Speaking of, what'd the thing they slip in your pocket say?
I want to see everything that they told us already. They didn't trust you at first.
Say again?
Everything they told you just now. They didn't trust any of you at first, but for some reason trusted me more. And I will roll a deception check for that.
If you guys want to press for it.
Oh, I'm pressing.
This is one of the first times that Azuka's lied, so that might be pretty obvious.
I think Kyoko
I
would
think Min
trust.
doesn't think to question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
but
Kyoko
Chuck
would
is
trust
jaded
Azuka.
enough.
Azuka's the one person that Kyoko would trust.
Oh. So it's a perception versus deception. Oh, God.
Woo,
No,
22 versus 31.
And it's
I mean, it was a
26 versus 31.
26.
Oh,
Yeah.
31 versus 26. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Still.
And yeah, okay.
If you say so, Azuka.
I will give you a heads up. They can speak telepathically, at least to me. So if you end up getting a voice in your head, just a
Oh.
heads up so you don't get caught by surprise.
Interesting.
I
So-
feel like we should. I feel like we should do this thing. If there are devils and that's all real, then maybe it can make a difference. This whole city is full of just everything's just tied down. The violence, it's there. It's always there. It's everywhere. Just in the gaps. It's directing everything. If it's not real violence, it's the threat. This whole system. I don't know if dealing with the devil's thing is gonna even change how the system works, but maybe it will.
Who's to say if this Cien thinks that I'm the devil in bringing out an old part of Geo?
Well, we don't know anything other than what they've said.
Kevin, just
Yes.
so you know, I've been circling in ways to see if somebody's following us.
As of right now, no. But if you would like, you can make me a stealth check to see if you've been noticed on your way to wherever it is
18
that you would
total.
go. Okay.
7 on the dice. We're eventually going to the suites. We're going to check in, but Chuck's planning to not stay there.
Cool. Nobody's following you. They kind of trust that you guys would go to where you would be going. Yeah, you end up going in, and it is a nice 5-star hotel with just marble floors, columns up to the ceiling, luxury chairs, people like waiting as you walk in through the entrance. Usually dealing with the Russo family. So, you guys get all booked in. You get your stuff unloaded and taken up to a penthouse suite. Very luxurious.
I will say, when we go to the desk, Chuck will say, Chucky Russo.
Oh, yes. We were getting word that a member of the Russos would be joining us this evening. You do have your own suite with the rooms nearby for your friends. The entire top floor has been reserved.
Thank you.
Of course. Allow us to get your things for you. If you would like, you can spend your time waiting for us to be complete by taking advantage of our cafe nearby. An open bar as well. All expenses have been provided for by the family.
I will carry some myself, if that is all right.
That is perfectly fine. We're here to assist at your beck and call.
Yeah.
So you guys...
So what's the game plan?
Are we doing the hat trick again?
No. I can't. Let's not talk about that.
Okay.
No, we were. Well, I'm pretty tired. I don't know about you guys.
I mean,
My
Yep,
game
it's
plan.
been a long day.
My game plan was to check in and then make my way to my place.
Whatever the plan is, I'll trust you.
Lead the way.
Zuka.
Oh, yeah, no, sounds good to me.
Okay.
So,
Do you think they'll fall for that trick, though?
no. But it's enough to send a message to Geo.
All right, then. Kyoko will go into her room then. If that's the plan, is to go in the room and then we're gonna leave. She will leave a little envelope note, as this might be the last time she sees Geo, other than maybe in the morning tomorrow. But she leaves a little envelope and it's labeled to him. And at some point we can talk about what was in that.
Okay. With that, are you guys just taking everything with you and heading out?
I guess.
Kyoko doesn't have that much. She's just a bag of holding with all her stuff in it.
Neither does Azuka.
I mean,
Okay.
I was gonna leave the stuff that looks like we're staying there, and then, because he plans on coming back to this place, but he's taking his necessities and valuables, the hat, the guns, and everything with him to the other place.
We'll say that you make the place look lived in, so that if anybody was to show up, they'd be like, oh yeah, people are staying here, obviously. When housekeeping shows up, they can be like, oh, we got work to do. You take your way out, and if I recall, we did not roll well on your place here.
Mm.
I remember you saying it was either just a house.
It was
or
like
Yeah,
a house.
Just a
It was-
house, very,
Yeah.
very plain.
That might be a good thing. It's just
yeah.
a house.
Honestly.
I can scroll back and try and find that roll.
Yeah, I think it was like a
Not that far back.
14 or something like that. It was something rather low.
That sounds about right.
Okay.
Yeah, it
We'll
was a
say
14.
we'll say it's a house. You do have, but being Chuck, you do have a house on the water, of course. It's a nice 2-story house with a front, like the backyard of it actually has like a little fire pit outside with a nice little deck that goes out into the beach and into the water. You have a nice little area back there for relaxation, camping, all that. You have a nice little grill outside. But other than that, it's kind of like a nice Airbnb style home.
Cool. We go there.
Only 3. There are 2 rooms for this. 2 bedroom, 2 bath.
That's fine. I just need like a cushion.
And I've already made an agreement with the Zuka that I usually stay with them.
Yeah.
As soon as we walk in, Chuck will just kind of say, I think all of you should have a seat.
All right. Seems like we might
Okay.
have a story time until for us.
I will sit down on the arm of a chair.
Giovanni
He's
and I
so
go way back. Back when he was called the Bullet. Working as an underling, a hitman for the family before. Little did I know about his escapades until after his demise, but when my parents died in what was thought to be an accident, I was at a boarding school. You see, I got them in trouble for a job, and because I was tinkering with things, I like messing with stuff. I like building stuff. I'm a mechanic after all. You guys have seen this. But I think I got them into the mess that led to their demise. They sent me off to boarding school, and the next thing I knew, they were gone. I had nowhere to go, and Gio brought me in. Under the guise that he was reformed. I knew he was a hitman for the mob. I knew what he did. But then I was led to believe that he met his demise at the hands of them while trying to get out. To stop being a part of the mafia. And the person you see wearing that hat is when I would sneak out and try and find and avenge my parents. I set out to be the best gunman to ever live, most accurate, untouchable. So I can't wear that hat, and Gio can't know that I'm the one under the hat. And he cannot show up tonight because otherwise he will connect 2 and 2 together. So that's why he calls me Chucky. He thinks of me as his son.
Sorry you had to go through that, Chuck.
Figured it'd be best to lay it all on the table, so.
What do you want us to do with him?
Nothing.
Well, my experience with Gio was a little bit different. He was a regular customer who would come in every Thursday, same time, every day without a doubt. Was never late, always on time. His questions were nothing out of the ordinary, but usually something to do with some type of deal or gamble, track race, something of that sort. I don't know if that means he got out of whatever it is that he was doing in LA, but he surely wasn't what he is now when I was here.
Well, I've never met him, but he seems terrible. And I think we have to stop him.
I think deep down he is a nice gent, but something else is at play here, and if devils are involved, well, doesn't surprise me.
Sounds
Well,
like that's what we should do then.
We already have our own in play. He looks over at Azuka.
Yeah. I'm not sure how I'll be any more helpful than the
Well-
others with this in particular, but I'm here, yes.
If he's in with devils, wouldn't your other half get a read on that? Like they did with Roland.
Maybe. I don't know. He's not always talkative when I want him to be, and tends to be talkative when I don't.
The other side of this is, do we believe what Xian Zheng has told us? Because quite an interesting dual personality that we got.
Yeah. They're going on about how, oh, this is all terrible, and they're playing along to undermine it and fix it, but that's a really long time to be the right-hand man of the guy working with devils to control the city and all that kind of thing. I think they must have done a lot of harm. I know you guys can't see it, but I can see the whole feeling of this place. It's been messed with for a very long time.
Well, keep those feelings on the ready. Do let us know if you're feeling anything out of the ordinary.
I have
I
an
might
idea.
be able to.
Sorry, man. But if something's happening at the dock, maybe I can find out what by arranging a meeting with Geo.
Well, that seems rather dangerous after I told you what I had envisioned.
He's gonna be there though, right? So, at the very
Well,
least
he
we don't
was-
be distracted.
He was there in my vision, doesn't mean he's going to be there this time.
If you think you can pull off the meeting without getting killed or raising the alarm, you don't want to change things so he decides he doesn't want to be at the docks and would rather be watching what we're doing.
I don't think he'd so easily get rid of me or Kyoko. But he does know of our bond to you two. And I interrupted you earlier, Azuka, before you let in on the fact that you had family. Mafia will
right.
use leverage.
They will.
I appreciate that. I don't think that through.
What about the stash? What's our plan with that?
Sneak in? Try and sneak out? Be ready for that to go wrong?
I fear it's a setup. To test whether I'd be loyal to Geo or get an opportunity to take him down.
Oh, God, yeah, the whole thing could just... I don't like this. Maybe we should just run away. We could just leave the city. We could just get in the car and just go. Just keep going for a really long time.
We wouldn't make it out. Think of it as a cage with other scary creatures about.
Like a free-range chicken, something of that sort.
Yeah. But you have to convince the one with the key to the gate to open it for you without knowing that they're opening it for you.
So then we do nothing, we just play along, and then they're like, oh, you're good people, we'll let you go.
I don't think it'll quite work out like that, but if Sheng is saying that they will assist us, I mean, we're stuck here for 4 days anyway. There's a chance that there could be an opportunity for us to see the gate being opened and take advantage of it.
The one thing I have in the back pocket that I know Geo fears is the gunman in the shadows.
And what does that mean to us?
If he cares for me and he fears the gunman in the shadows, perhaps he'll try and get us out to safety if he thinks they're after me.
I see.
Oh, that's smart.
All right then. What is this plan of yours? And how do we play our parts?
If we wanted to, if you don't have an entire plan right now, we can fade to black for going to bed. If you would like to take some time to come up with that, if you want to make it a really good plan.
I mean, the general idea I can spell already.
Okay.
The idea is we cozy up to him. I go back to being his son. Talk business. Talk involvement. And if you're open to it, being his lucky charm, and Mintala being his watchful eye on guides on the streets. And Azuka working closely with Cien. And then the man in the hat shows up. Trying to take down the mob and suddenly realizes that we are Geo's weak points. And happens to strike or appear where we would happen to be. Showcasing the threat and seeing as he's had this bond and this fear of this man would entice us to leave and continue on our journey so that we would not fall victim to this man.
I mean, we'll probably need to figure out the specifics, but I think that makes sense.
It could work.
Worth a try, I suppose.
It's the only way I see a monster opening the key out of his palace when he has food trapped inside.
Do you think we should go check out that stash and not try and find, like, the whole devil's thing, but instead see if we can spot an ambush?
You guys did spend a majority of the day going around the city with Xiansheng, so it is getting to be sunset. There is nightlife in the city, but it is getting late. Just as a thought.
Kyoko gets a read on anything. I feel like that lends itself to a place we should check out first. which is why I lean towards the dock as opposed to the stash.
Hey, I don't know Giovanni at all. Quite honestly, his first impression was kind of awful, and I don't really care much for him. So honestly, I'll leave this up to you and the two of you, Kyoko and Chuck. It's kind of your history.
I'm just gonna float it, just as a thing to consider. But like, I know you guys have history and everything, but there's like weird stuff going on. We could kill him. I'm just saying. Seems like he's kind of evil.
It also would
It's up
turn
to
the
you guys,
entire
though.
city on us.
I personally would
Maybe.
also just like to not resort to killing. I'm not entirely sure if that will make us any better.
I would agree with that, Azuka. Harming other people is not my thing, nor do I want to make it my thing.
Yes, every time we have fought, it's been at the very least self-defense, and I think the time we could talk it out even after it was self-defense, we managed to do that. So jumping to killing is not my thing. So if that's possible.
Okay, taking it off the table, putting it under the table.
Regardless, before we sign up for this together, we should sleep on it.
I can certainly try.
So, with that, you all go to your respective rooms, I'm assuming.
I suppose I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. The night passes as you guys start to settle down. It is a bit of a, there is only one queen bed in the room, and it is both Azuka and Kyoko. So I don't know if like Kyoko's gonna be like on the floor, on the foot of the bed. I don't know
think
what's gonna happen. I'm not
Kyoko goes into her fox like form, and she lays at the foot of the bed. That's what we had agreed would always happen.
Perfect.
Quick question, because
Yeah.
Drac.
Are you
has
gonna sneak out?
ADHD.
I want to see if I
yes.
can see you sneak out.
This is what I was curious about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to give you like the option of like, I'll take the couch, you know, like
I mean, you know Chuck.
Chuck's probably at the couch.
I'm going to be
I'm-
going to the toilet. And then if there are windows in the toilet, I'll just look.
Second
out at it.
story window leads out over the porch.
Yep.
Okay.
Goes back towards the water.
Okay. How far away is the water?
Probably 40 yards.
I don't know what that is.
Oh,
Give me feet, please.
Think like 35 meters.
Yeah.
That's cool and all. Pathfinder's in feet, okay? I
We thought this was an American English
No.
thing. We thought something
was
going
like,
on
give
here.
me feet, because
All right.
everything I can do in Pathfinder is in feet.
Well, 40 yards would be multiplied by 3. That's 120 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I would teleport outside. That's fine. I'll look out the window and I can teleport. I'll use so I go to the bathroom, lock the door, and look out the window, and I will use what's it called? Dimensional assault, which just lets me
Can
teleport.
you ping that?
Yes.
We'll say that you just boom, boom.
Because I don't know if
Easily
it's
enough.
verbal, somatic, what's required for it.
Pop it into the
It's
chat.
verbal.
You can paste it into the chat.
Yeah. If you click
Oh,
on it,
Cast
it'll-
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's verbal, but I can just whisper it.
Make a stealth check. Make a perception check. You're not going to stop what's happening, but you might be able to know what's happening.
So this is the thing.
Yeah. That's totally fine. You're able to
Yeah.
poof out no matter what, but Chuck is a highly attuned person to something like this. He would be listening for,
Ooh.
we'll say
I'm
when.
going to use my hero point, huh?
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
I was just going to
That's
describe the
too
13, but let's see what happens.
I did
No,
roll a 26,
If you beat a
Yeah,
26.
I've got a decent stealth, so
which is a
it's worth
15
it.
on the dice.
No, 18.
Okay.
So yeah.
And I guess
So
for
as-
Kyoko, she wouldn't notice him. She would just think he's going to the bathroom. But like, how long is he gone for? Would she notice that being weird?
It'll be a thing of like, after it's been a while, it's going to be like, okay, I didn't realize your stomach didn't agree with seafood. But there will be a moment where you're just like, maybe something's going on
Okay,
here.
all right. I
Um,
didn't know if you wanted me to roll to see if I would think that or not, or pass back.
we can do a like, I'm trying to think of how to do like an intuition. We could do like a wisdom check after some
Ooh,
time has passed
yeah.
to see when you would intuit what would be going on. So go ahead and roll a wisdom check.
All right. 14.
Okay. It'll be a little bit of time. I'll let you know when you start to get the it's been a while vibe.
Gotcha.
This is going to be really fun. I want to follow, but far enough away that he doesn't notice I'm following.
Perfect. So what happens is as you go to
Yeah, so I
sneak out.
So I think everything I do that's casting spells is in is Infernal? What did Devil speak? I think it's Infernal.
Infernal.
Yes, Infernal. And I speak that, and then I teleport outside, and I'll take the 4 damage. It teleports me half my speed, so it'll be like what, 12 feet, 13 feet. I teleport 13 feet.
I'm going to say we
downwards.
don't, that doesn't happen. But as you go to open the window, you're like, I'm going to climb out.
I don't
You
need
get
to open the window.
I know.
I just, as long as I see, I teleport out.
I was just trying to
Yeah.
justify the 18. You bamf, you're outside, no problem. Chuck, here's a just like the smallest little oomph of magic. Go out, and you do see Azuka like starting to go away, starting to go on a walk. As you teleport out, you just hear a,
Are you sure you're making the right decision?
I have a right to know whatever it is they want to show me.
You do,
See why not?
and I'm not fighting that. Just be careful.
I will. You don't need to worry. I can
No.
probably take them in a fight if I need to anyway.
I can always help.
And yeah, we went to the place, I'll know the suite, and I'll head there.
so you head there, and as you arrive, you see Xian Chung.
Yeah. Sinchong's waiting for you in the designated spot. I reckon you're a few minutes late because you're at a different house. Maybe you're like 5 or 7 minutes late. They're sitting on like a nice couch, on the suite with their legs propped up on the coffee table and their hands folded in front of their waist. They're just kind of like looking off, and they seem to be lost in thought or thinking. As soon as you come in, they sort of like bring their legs down. They stand up and they go, well, I was expecting you to come down from the stairs, but from the front doors.
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah, no one really trusts you or
Oh.
Giovanni, so.
Well, I can't say I entirely blame your crew. If I were you, I wouldn't trust me either.
Yeah, honestly, I don't trust you, but I can't say I'm not curious.
Well, you know what they say about curiosity. It did
Good
kill
thing
the
I'm not a
cat, but satisfaction brings it back. Shall we go on a walk? I fear there are too many, what they say about walls having ears and eyes and all that.
Yes, and I will follow. I'll follow. I mean, I have to kind of after them saying that, I want to roll a perception check now.
Go for it.
14.
It isn't hard to notice that the employees are around. There's people constantly walking around in the area. With the amount of loyalty that comes with an establishment in a society like this, everybody's looking for some way to gain favor. So you know that every pair of ears can be somebody to take something back to someone.
Makes sense.
Yes, Tiancheng seems quite eager to get away from all these ears and eyes, and leads you out of the suite area on like a walk through, like maybe like a back series of back alleys where there would be like as few eavesdroppers as possible. And when they do speak to you, it's in like lowered, whispered, hushed tones, and they seem to be like taking you just away from the suite and into a less populated area, almost like a kind of like factory or warehousey area of town that doesn't have as much foot traffic at night. And as they do, they go on to say, I'm really glad you showed up and met with me. I was starting to think that maybe you stood me up.
No. I said, I'm just curious what it is exactly you need to tell me and what was so important that it needs to be hidden.
Yes, well, this is a little awkward, but I'm just going to come out and say it. Remember what I said earlier about Giovanni making deals with devils and slowly becoming corrupted from the inside out?
Yes.
Well, I've interacted with devils enough in Giovanni's presence to know when I'm dealing with one. Not to mention my celestial heritage does ping and writhe in the presence of infernal magic.
Didn't do much to hide it, but yes.
So there is a devil inside your soul, Azuka.
Yes.
How do you feel about that? I've never met a mortal, certainly not on this plane of existence, with such an entity inside their soul. It must take a toll on you. It must demand things of you. I know how these devil types are.
For the most part, I have it under control.
Be careful.
For
Something's
the most
wrong.
part?
Yeah.
What about the some part? The parts when you don't have control.
Hasn't happened in years.
Years.
So, yes.
And what happened years ago? There were casualties, I assume.
Actually, no. Painful transformations, and I swish my tail.
Mhm.
No lives lost.
Good. But Azuka, you do know that it's only a matter of time before the devil inside you asks for something you can't take back.
What are they getting at?
What has it promised you in exchange for power? What does it want from you, Azuka? No devils offer power for free. There has to be a catch.
You've asked a lot of questions, rather prying ones, I'll be honest, and I've answered most of them with what I'm comfortable with. I think that's as far as I'm willing to answer. But why are you so interested?
And I think it's at this point that maybe we've reached like a stopping point where Xiancheng has taken you to the docks in Kyoko's vision. And
you guys have been talking as you've been walking to avoid either one person getting some bit or everybody having one bit of information, But you do arrive at the docks at night, the sea salt in the air, the chill of the ocean humidity. This is
Azuka.
when we would say we're going to go back a little bit. It's been about 25 minutes for Kyoko, and something just feels off. And you go to check, and nothing. You can't find Azuka anywhere. I'm assuming you grab Mintala. You see Chuck is already gone.
I think that she would try to wake up Chuck first, and then she sees that Chuck's gone. And she just stands there in the living room, and I think she just says, by golly, if he just left without me and didn't tell me what's going on, I'm going to wrangle that guy by the neck. And she's going to go find Mintala. You're muted.
Muted.
You did a lot of motions, though.
I think Min is probably in the living room, sleeping on the sofa under a cushion. It's just like, what's happening?
I'm sorry I have to wake you like this, but it appears our friends have gone missing. I thought that Azuka was going to the restroom for a bit, but it's been about 30 minutes at this point.
But they've both gone?
It appears so. I don't see. Did you not see Chuck leave?
No, I was asleep.
If
So
you
was
look
Red.
around where Chuck was, there's just a bullet sitting upright on the like coffee table by the couch.
Is that supposed to mean something? I don't know the symbolism stuff. Let's just go after him. So I
Well, I
thought
don't-
about sneaking out, and then I decided not to. So I
I
feel
don't
like
know where
I did
he
pretty
would've-
well here.
Well, I don't know where
Kyoko
he would
feels a
have gone.
vibration, like a little bit of like a twinge come off of the bullet.
But I suppose we can find out. And Kyoko will go over and grab the bullet. It will take her a minute to kind of get anything from it.
Mhm. We're saying this happened like in the past a little bit. We're doing a little of, go back.
Yeah.
You get this message from Chuck being like you see it happening. I don't know how this is going to work, but let's hope for it. And he goes, Azuka snuck out. I'm going to follow. As his voice is ringing in your head, you see flashes of Chuck following them to the dock, being in the dock in your vision, of course, and the way that he took to get there.
Oh yeah, and I forgot.
And
I'm
so-
still in fox form.
Yeah.
So my conversation would be to you in your head, Mintala.
Mhm.
And then
Oh
she
my
says
God,
back
there's
to you. Well, seems like they're going to the dock. Not the wisest decision, but suppose that's where we're headed. Hop on.
Brilliant idea. I desummon Red,
Mhm.
and I hop onto the fox.
With your new mount, you go off into the night as a conversation is being had at the docks.
Yeah, Tiancheng, I think now they're kind of backlit by the moonlight, right? And like the washing of the waves up against the poles of the dock. And the dock itself, which maybe like, because we know that some shit's about to go down here, maybe there's like, you can even like sense some commotion in the near distance of like people at
You
the
hear
docks,
boxes,
right?
boxes being moved
Yes,
inside
yep.
a warehouse right there. This is
Yep.
one of those docks that has like the boat entrance can like come in, they unload stuff from there, and then they move out. But you hear like a boat and you hear people moving merchandise of some type.
Yeah, like several dozen people, I assume. Like there's a good number of workers.
Yeah,
At the
low
warehouse. Yeah.
level workers.
Yep. So Tiancheng turns to face you and says, Azuka, he's offered you power, but you haven't indulged it, have you?
Not anything more than self-defense. No.
Oh, Azuka, can't you see? Oh, it's the most classic trick in the book. Reverse psychology. He doesn't want you to use his power. Do you know why? Because every time you use it, it is like fire burning wood. Every time you indulge your infernal influence, you drain him. You eat him a little bit. Bite
She's
by
lying.
bite by bite.
Don't
All you
listen.
need to do, Azuka, is swallow. Oh, one moment. I'm so sorry. Just can we put a pin in this? There's something I have to take care of. I'll be back in like and they pull up well, they're wearing gauntlets, but they check their wrist anyway, and I think there's maybe like a holographic projection, like a magical one of a watch face that comes up.
Sure.
Give me 5 minutes, maybe 3. Well, 5 if I'm well, let's say 3.5. 1 second. And
Okay.
Tiancheng turns and just calmly walks up toward the warehouse and through the doors.
As you open the door, there's a guard inside. She goes, "Hey, what you doing?"
Hello there, darling. And the door closes.
I think Azuka just like, okay, I guess I'll wait 3.5 minutes. But
There
does
is-
turn inwards to speak to the Duke. I'll be entirely honest, I don't trust them, but I don't really trust you either.
Something is not right here. The things they know, the way they speak. It's not normal. No celestial knows of these things. These
Have
are
the devils been
secrets. These are
sloppy with secrets?
not these. Be very careful, Azuka. I will aid if I can, but something's going on.
Duke, if I use your power, am I eating you bit by bit?
That is a conversation for later. For now, do not focus on me. Keep your wits about you.
As this conversation happens here, just gunshots blasting off from inside, automatic weapons going off, single fire. You see flashes of light. You hear screams. Just like, cut short immediately. You hear somebody splashes into the water.
Oh boy. Yeah, he runs in.
So
Just on instinct.
As you
He
grab
runs
the
into the
door,
warehouse.
as you go to the door, you see blood start to pool out from beneath it.
Yeah, I swing the doors open.
Well, what did they see?
Absolute carnage. There is blood everywhere. There are bodies ripped in half, heads, limbs, eyes, teeth just scattered all across the place. A beautiful painting of pure viscera. And I think there's like a single survivor, maybe he's like half severed, right? But he's still alive somehow. His legs are across the warehouse from him and he's like crawling like on his hands toward you with like eyes wide with like fear and terror. And then Tian Cheng picks him up. And they are covered in blood from head to toe. Their gauntlets are out, right? And all of the blades on both hands are like completely covered in this crimson liquid. They like pick him up and they go, "Oh, Azuka, I thought you were going to wait outside. I'm not proper right now."
As you look, there are bullet holes in Xian Chung. And as she is holding this still alive person, you see this essence start to be pulled as the wounds heal up. And then he just falls short, disintegrates into dust, and falls away.
Oh, much better. And magic, as black as a god's spilled blood, ripples down Tian Cheng's body. And their dark leather armor that they were wearing this whole time transforms into a flowing white robe, cut open at the torso to reveal a muscled flat chest with these glowing top surgery scars. And starting at the roots, Tian Cheng's black hair turns snow white, pure white as that like first snow of winter before blood splashes upon it. And there is also a noise like grinding bone. And in a single motion, 6 wings tear out of Tian Cheng's back. The top and bottom 2 wings are made of black feathers. And the larger middle 2 are massive and white and leathery, like bat's wings. And each wing is easily 12 to 15 feet long on either side of their body. And as the magic ripples down, they grow in height, 6 feet, 7 feet, until they are 8 feet tall and muscled. And as that magic continues to ripple down their arm, those black gauntlets melt into their skin to form pure black elongated claws. And finally, the golden halo behind their head rises up into the air like a cresting sun, then splits in half down the middle, and either half of the halo jabs down into their forehead, forming a pair of golden horns. They are, like the devil inside your soul, immaculately terrible and petrifyingly beautiful. And Nemesis, envoy of lust, cracks their neck in either direction and says, Oh, much, much better. Wearing this elf skin does great on a demon after a bit too long. It's like their memory tries to resist being bent to the will of the thing that killed them. Oh no, please spare my mom, spare my dad, spare my sibling, my brother, my sister. Oh, such beautiful, delectable screams. But no matter. I get to stretch my wings. Oh, it's been too long since I've gotten to stretch my wings. All this talk, blah, 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 blah. Oh my gods, you mortals love to talk. What a bore. I haven't disemboweled someone in so long. And I'm going to have to wait a little bit longer, I'm afraid. Oh, come now, Nemesis, don't forget the plan. The plan to screw the devils. Well, screw the plan. Who cares about Shax, about Zura, about her lady mistress Nocticula? I don't care about Asmodeus. I don't care about the blood war. I just want to stretch my wings and fly. And you can too, Azuka. You see, you and I, we are not so different. We are both bound by dark magics more powerful than ourselves. The demon lords whom I serve, and the Duke inside your soul. But you and I are both stronger than we give ourselves credit for, Azuka. Do you see my mistress Nocticula debasing herself with reconnaissance in the New World? No! No! It is I, Nemesis, gallivanting across this disgusting, beautiful, wretched, lovely new place. It is you, Azuka, driving the car. The devil in you is nothing more than an engine. Then fuel. Then food for you, you beautiful gourmand, you to eat so you can realize your true potential, so you can seize your dreams. Eat him, Azuka. You can. You should.
As this is being said, they're walking closer to you, and you instinctually take steps back as they walk out from the dock. Chuck, you now see this visage in front of you as Kyoko and Mintala, a little bit farther away, turn the last corner, and it is just, huh?
I would love my last few words to be a bon mot. A relic of the bard magic that I stole from Tiancheng before I killed them.
For it.
Oh my god, I'm screwed.
I think I roll this. I'm just gonna pull it up.
Yep.
So what is
you
that? A
say equip.
diplomacy?
Yeah.
Is
Yep.
diplomacy against my will DC? Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a diplomacy check. Let's see here. 39.
That's a crit.
Holy moly! What? Jeez.
You rolled a
Okay.
19. Okay. Well,
So critical success. You take a -3 status penalty to perception and will saves for 1 minute.
Azuka has less will saves.
Oh no.
And you feel not your own rage, but the rage of the Duke inside you flare.
Azuka, you kill them now.
Oh, is he talking to you? You're gonna let food tell you what to do?
Silence.
Stand up,
fiend.
Azuka!
In your head, Nemesis,
You will be quiet, fiend.
Oh, hello. Oh, who are you? Because I've always known you were maybe a duke of some kind, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. Now that you're in my head, devil, let's see what you are. What is that?
Silence.
What is that, brimstone? What is that, Asmodeus's influence? How fascinating! The influence of a failed devil who couldn't even barter with a mortal!
You will know what it is.
Well, that Churchill
Fear
fellow
a mortal.
really fucked all of you over, didn't he? How humiliating.
Azuka. Rage.
Azuka, eat. And I cast Dominate at 6th level.
Oh, shiza.
I mean,
Should we
I'll
also
roll.
get in initiative? Because I feel like
yeah, this is
We're-
going to be the intro
okay.
into the fight.
Gotcha.
I'm going to go grab
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
What I will say about the DC on roll 20, it is not
Yeah,
accurate.
yours is
We had to do
higher
it
for
like a
sure.
custom sheet. Yeah.
Yeah. I rolled a 25. That does
That's
not save.
wild.
I'm fairly certain that doesn't save. That's a 17 on the die.
With the
Ooh.
+8 modifier.
Do you say something, Connie?
Oh yes, 25 does not save. But I'm gonna wait for Kevin to get back.
Yeah. I was gonna ask him because I'm stealth if I can roll initiative and stealth, which I imagine he'll say yes to.
Yeah, and I think
I
you would get around before us because you were there before.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that makes sense.
Like a surprise round type of thing. I don't know. We'll see what he says.
So as you can see, everyone, Connie is a magician with words. The whole time I was like, I need to be scared because I'm Azuka, but I'm like, this is so fucking cool. This is so cool.
I'm so glad you came. I would have been so sad if your character didn't come.
There was no way it wasn't
we-
gonna come. Are you kidding?
We knew it was gonna
Bad
happen. It was
decision.
whether or not we noticed and would be there too.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, will any of our characters be able to help or is Azuka just screwed? I don't know.
Hey, I mean, I'm ready for Azuka to die.
Well, listen, Nemesis doesn't want to
I
kill
feel
you
like
per se.
you won't
yet.
die. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin,
Yeah,
can I
that's-
roll initiative with stealth?
Sure.
And yeah, I would assume that Chuck would get to go before we would, because he was there the whole time.
Yeah.
Should roll
So
it
we're going to
as well.
take. You guys are going to be a little bit farther away. We'll say it'll take a full first turn before you guys can get into anything.
29.
I rolled really
26.
bad on initiative, which is classic with my
Right.
23. It was a 10
I should
on
roll
the
two.
dice.
What do I? Is there a skill that we use for initiative? in
Yeah, so
Pathfinder?
under
Yeah.
perception,
usually
there's
just perception.
perceive.
If you go to your
then there's
second
initiative.
character sheet that I have prepared for you.
Yes.
Right next to perception.
Yep.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
There's two different
Right, let's-
rolls for perception.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
initiative. Here we go.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we have at
Yes.
the top
I won. I got in there first.
29. And we have Chuck.
And just so you are aware, Azuka rolled a 25 against that dominate,
Yes.
Which doesn't succeed.
which doesn't
So
succeed.
close.
But it's
Yeah,
not
that
a
doesn't
critical
save.
fail, so
Mhm.
No, it's just a regular fail.
good luck,
Okay, so it is
Azuka.
going to Kyoko, then it is going to Azuka. Then it is going to Chuck. Then we are going to Xianchen, or Nemesis, I guess we can say it now.
Yes.
Then we are on to Mintala.
Oh yeah, I was just sitting here typing away in my notes.
What?
like
Would I
Maggie
use a guest
said-
to give you guys backstory and a little bit of info? That would be weird.
But like
All
Maggie
right.
said, they're still a ways away, so their first turn is probably trying to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are well, let's give athletics checks and we'll see how long with that it takes for you to get in.
Oh, I'm
We
not
say
good at athletics.
maximum of
Can I do
2.
acrobatics?
Are you parkouring on your fox
Sure.
form, going from like roof to roof?
Oh my god, I love that. If I can.
Okay. Yeah, then we'll say we can do that. And with Mintala giving you a help action, you can add 2.
22 then.
Hey.
Perfect. Then we'll say you have 1 turn until you get there. So full round.
All
of
right.
Chuck staring
Good
at
luck,
this.
Azuka.
I mean, to be fair, it sounds like the Duke is the one that should be worried than anything else. At least so
Go
far.
ahead and roll again for
Me?
the save.
The save.
Oh.
It's
As
just gonna
something
be
else
worse.
is also resisting.
Oh, he's
Okay.
not resisting very well.
Dude, the Duke sucks at will saves. Can we talk about that, like classically?
Do you have that item engaged on you too? Because I thought I gave you the ring that I had that gives you better will save.
yeah.
Ring
Because
of
after the
Devils.
last night you had that crazy dream,
Yeah.
Kyoko gave you her.
You have
was the plus
Spellguard
1
shield.
to-
Yeah, plus
yeah.
1 to saves.
Increased DC can be used.
So
Okay.
I also know that we only have 9 minutes left if everybody is okay with going a little bit longer today, we took a little bit to get here, but this is
Yeah.
a pretty
I'm good for
solid
that.
moment. Okay.
Sure.
But yeah,
Depends on
it's-
how long it is, because I got a lot to do today.
I'm not going to go
Yeah.
too long.
I mean, not only bump up the initial one to 26.
I mean, we
and
could do
this
no
one to
after
30.
show if we need.
So yeah, I still don't think I did it, but I don't think it affects the results of it anyway.
So with a 26,
Yes, the DC for any save is a 26.
Oh, I make it then with that +1. At least
Ooh.
Azuka does. I don't know about the other DC. The other save was.
Did you subtract the 3 from the bon mot? Or is that just
Yes.
for the
Ooh.
next roll?
Yeah, so
I
he
did.
still fails.
I still
Did you
fail?
subtract the 3?
Yeah, I already
'Cause
subtracted the 3.
the
moment
will
I
save
did
you
the
did
one-
was 25 plus the 1, but then
Which would be
minus 3
26, but then minus 3.
for the bon mot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it would be
So-
a 23.
No, I think it will be 26 with Bon Mot. I already took away the -3.
Oh,
At the moment I failed that, I took it away.
okay.
I edited my stats on the character sheet to take
Gotcha.
away the -3.
Yeah.
Then yeah, you are able to you feel the influence start digging into your head, and for a moment you are in that white space with you, the Duke next to you, and Nemesis standing away, and you are able to push it out and go back into reality.
I wasn't a fan of that. And I guess we're in initiative.
Yeah. So first up is Kyoko, who's going to take the turn to be running, or I guess jumping from rooftop to rooftop.
Yeah.
Then it is Azuka.
I'm going to immediately cast. I have a breakdown of this because the mage's class is complicated. Damn, I don't have it. It doesn't work. Okay, so I'm going to cast Phase Bolt as I charge towards Nemesis. And as I cast Phase Bolt, and you see black almost electricity and lightning coat my fist, and I'm going to use a feint. I mean, I already know a ridiculous stat. I'm going to use it anyway. I'm going to use feinting. I'm going to use distracting spell strike, and make a deception roll against your will DC. Let's see. 30.
Oh, damn.
All right. So your will DC would be, I believe, 10 plus the
10 plus your
bonus.
modifier. Yeah.
So if we go to your character sheet, that would be a
Which modifier am I adding?
will save. So
Will.
it'd be 10 plus that's
Okay.
17, 27.
Okay, 27. Yeah.
Okay,
So you
perfect.
beat it.
So I beat it. So I go for a swing and a suddenly sidestep and feint, and you become flat-footed to my next attack, which can be a spell strike with this phase bolt infused into it, which just means I get a +2, or you get a -2 to your AC for this attack. I'll just add it as a +2 on mine. What was that? So +2, 20 doesn't hit. As I swing and I think I miss and stumble past you. And I again quickly ready myself.
Oh, Azuka, you forget who the real enemy is here. It's not the demon in front of you, but the devil inside you. Why do you take orders from sheep?
You just tried to command me and make me take orders from another one.
And
So
you
no, you're
shook
both
me
enemies.
off. Good job, my sweet. Now just take it a little bit further and apply the same enthusiasm to the little devil inside your soul. You could be so much more than this, Azuka. I'm not here to hurt you, or maybe just a little, just for funsies. Maybe just a little claw into your sternum, but just a touch of suffering for the road. But I'm not here to kill you necessarily, Azuka, unless you make me into your enemy. I am here to free you.
Chuck.
Because we demons, all we're about is freedom.
And there we go. Chuck. Paired shots. Hit it up. 29 to hit on the first one, which does hit.
21 to hit on the second.
So,
Actually, they're still flat-footed unless that's only for Azuka.
Only
So
for
I
me.
have.
Yeah.
Okay.
so it's not flat-footed for Chuck, or are they still flat-footed?
Flat fit. It's only flat fit for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that bang bang, bullet goes through the shoulder, and one bounces off the horns.
How much damage is that? 8 or let me check.
11.
It's gonna be
11? Okay. No prob.
The 8 is what missed. I knew you were up to something.
And then we're going to move on to Nemesis' turn.
Well, I'm not here to kill any of you again necessarily unless you force my hand. I'm here to show you what your true potential could be. These devils, they try to tie you up with words and rules and laws and logic, but I'm here to unlock the cage. You want to be happy little kept pets inside a gilded cage? Go down to the 9 hells and lick Asmodeus's taint, you cows! Or if you want to be free, join me. Don't you see what we could make of this world? This is unfettered land. This is untouched possibility. We don't have to be enemies. We could be allies.
And that's all you get for your turn.
I would like to cast suggestion as part of what I say
Cool.
to Azuka, if possible.
Okay. Do I roll for this or you?
Yeah, so
let
it's
me
going
do
to be
save.
a will save DC. You have to beat a 26.
Ooh, let's see if I can do that. 20.
Oh, you fail their DCs, but not okay. No, I see. So with that,
I'm
you,
only good at fighting the devil within.
Right.
Apparently not demons without.
All right. So the target immediately follows your suggestion. The spell has a duration of 1 minute or until the target has completed a finite suggestion of the suggestion, becomes self-destructive, or has other obvious negative effects.
So this whole time, Tian Chung is, Nemesis, excuse me, is specifically trying to get you to like turn inward and eat the devil inside you, which isn't necessarily self-destructive, I think, because, you know, of the logic of how that relationship works. I don't think it would hurt you, Azuka.
No. Yeah. Yeah. I will. I guess I have to do it on my turn or immediately now. I don't know. But I will try to reach in within myself.
Yeah, on your turn,
We'll
that's
do that
what
on
you
your
want to
turn.
do. Yeah.
Yes.
On your turn.
And I'll end things out with a shield. As they speak, and like the bullet like in their shoulder like starts to bleed this like pure black blood dripping down their pectoral muscle. They sort of like whisk a claw off to the left and cast this spell. And that is the end of my turn.
Okay, beautiful. With that is Mintala, who is riding on Kyoko. So we're going to go back. Now it is Kyoko's turn. You guys have arrived to the scene. Mintala, is there
Okay,
anything you would like to do? Like you are riding Kyoko as the acrobatics section of this getting here. So this was the turn that you guys missed, but you will be technically your turn is right before Kyoko gets there, who you are then on top of. So you could prepare in action.
How far are we away from Nemesis?
We'd say you guys are about 90 feet. 75 as you turn a corner from one of the nearby alleyways.
Okay, because I was gonna summon Red, but Red moves slow.
Do you have a range at which you can summon him?
Yeah, can you summon
He has to be
him
right
down?
next to me. Can I just prepare to summon him? Though summoning him is a triple action, so I guess don't know if you can prepare.
We'll say
those.
you can start it on this action, and on the next turn it'll take 1 from this turn, 2 from next turn, and then you'll have 1 action afterwards.
All right, that works.
Cool. And then Kyoko, you get there.
Oh my gosh. So I'm just seeing some shouting at Azuka. Azuka's like standing there.
Yeah. You see Azuka's eyes are clouded over in this infernal energy.
my gosh. I'm wondering if what Kyoko can do here for him. Like, does she know what's happening exactly? I think what she's going to do is get closer
Okay.
first, if I can.
Yeah. So every action, so you have your 3 actions. Every action will get you, I believe, 25 feet closer. Yeah.
25 feet closer?
Yeah.
I want to
which
get within
is-
30 feet.
So if they're 75 away, you could then use 2 actions to get it close up.
Okay. I want to be within 30 feet, and then I would like to spirit link with Azuka.
Okay. You form a spiritual link with the other person, allowing when you cast me to target. Target is below maximum hit points or against 2 spirit. All right. Cool.
Unless you are not willing, Azuka.
Ooh.
Because it has to be a willing target.
Yeah, I don't know if I count as willing.
You're very focused on what you're attempting right now. I don't think you are either enemy or ally in this moment. So you go to start this and realize that Azuka doesn't just let it happen. I guess make a save, make a will save. Let's see if there's a part of you that still understands
Me?
what's going on. Yeah, Azuka.
Nope. 13.
Nope, not even a little bit.
All right.
Yes, I think I'm unwilling.
I think when that happens, Kyoko will say to you in your head, Mentala, because I get like 6 seconds, I guess. I don't think he's who. I think something happened to Azuka. I can't reach him.
Well, I think it's her fault, so we should deal with her.
I'm just gonna cut in.
They them.
This character uses
Oh,
they
it's-
them pronouns. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Didn't think about it. But whoever they are, I think it's their fault.
All right. And Kyoko kind of just braces herself for whatever is about to happen because she's like, we're going to hurt some more people again. This is not what she wants to do.
Yep.
And that's my turn.
Azuka, you look
Yeah.
inward. And now you're in that, I guess, that white space. We're going to pull it this way. Will save fight.
Will save fight. Oh my god.
Roll 2 will saves. The second one is for the Duke. The first one is for you.
Okay.
Fail, 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 fail.
Whoever has the
For the
higher
Duke.
will.
I want you to win.
Oh, the Duke will beat that one. Yeah.
You go and rush at him. He grabs your face, slams you into the ground, and he just says,
Stay put, child. Let me take over.
and you feel rage starting to build inside of you. Now, does he get another save from suggestion, or is it just locked in until it's done?
He might. Let me just double check.
Yeah.
I'm gonna scroll up.
Because I'm going off D&D knowledge of after every turn, there's the save.
The spell has a duration of 1 minute, or until the target has completed a finite suggestion, or it becomes self-destructive. So I don't think it's up to you, but I don't know if those conditions are met yet.
No, I don't feel like Pathfinder has that continued save.
Like that. Yeah.
Okay. Ooh.
I like
All
it
right.
personally.
We're in it now. With that, it's Chuck.
It's a 17 and then a 27 for the rolls.
Yes.
Chuck will simply respond in kind to the demon and say, freedom. You offer freedom, but yet demand power, demand control, working under another, being a pawn of sorts is not freedom. What you offer is lies.
I don't know how you arbitrate like discussion here, but if it's not a free action to talk, then I won't say anything.
I would like just to keep things flowing. I'll say you can respond on your turn.
Sounds good.
If that's okay. Cool. because as much as I am absolutely in love with everything that is happening right now, we do have a time limit.
24 and a 26 on my attacks.
I believe the second one hits.
If so,
So how
that's
much
9 bludgeoning
damage?
damage.
Sounds good.
As this bullet goes in, you see one of the feathers from one of the wings fall off. As the wound closes up. All right. Nemesis, you're up, and you have your retort.
Yes. Nemesis says, they seem deeply offended at what you've said. It really struck a nerve for them. Pawn! I have lived my unlife resisting the title of pawn. Yes, I was sent here from the abyss to keep an eye on those devilish entanglements mortals were striking with Asmodeus's ilk. And yes, perhaps in the past I have obeyed those mistresses and masters of mine, but no longer. Do you know what it's like to be consigned to an unlife of servitude, of having to kiss ass, not just in the mortal realm, but in the abyss? You know how awful we demon types are. The ones below me are mindless, blubbering, vicious beasts who know nothing but violence and bloodshed. And the schemers above me care only about advancing their own station in life. I am sick of it. I just want to live my own life on my own terms and extend a loving, generous hand down to someone I see struggling against the same problem. So Azuka's the only one close to me, right? Like physically?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm like zonked out.
I'm like 30. Me and Mentala are 30 feet
Where
away
would
from,
Chuck have placed themselves?
from Mentala?
He walked forward into the range from where the dock was. So he's kind of behind Azuka, maybe off to the side a little bit because he snuck up and is at the extent of his range. He's shooting at probably about 60 feet away.
Okay.
Okay.
Because this thing's large. He doesn't want to be near this thing.
Yes, I'm technically stretching the medium upper boundary at 8 feet. You know what? I don't know if Nemesis, being a demon and all, I don't know if they would attack themselves. They are still kind of holding out for Azuka to do their thing. So I am going to, why not? I'm just throwing all these things at Azuka. I'm going to try to charm you. So you will see me as friendly, attempting to anyway, from now on.
Okay.
So I think that's a will save again from you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 23 does not succeed.
Azuka, my darling, my sweet. I can see the beads of sweat running down your brow. I know you are fighting a battle for your own soul, but just know, you are the predator that eats, and he is the prey on your plate. And I'm going to flap my wings, I suppose, and get up into the air to get a better view of the battleground. But other than that, I don't do anything else. I end my turn.
Okay, so you still have one action left. If you wanted to go another, you could go to be then. So the way Pathfinder works is you just have 3 actions. Things take a varying amount of actions to do. The charm spell, I believe, only takes 1. So then flying up 35 feet would be 2. And then you can fly up another to get 70 feet up if you wanted to do that.
Charm actually takes 2 actions.
Yeah, charm is 2 actions. So that's okay. I'll just fly
Thank you
up
for
35.
correcting me. Then you're great.
Yeah, no worries. I'm hovering there like a horrible fallen angel. And I end my turn.
Mental, you're up. Muted.
You're muted.
Damn it. Yeah, seeing as they're in the air, summoning something that is bound to the ground seems like a bad idea.
It is your prepared action, so I do want to hold you to that.
Oh, so I have to do it. Yeah, okay.
Because
I
I
do it
took
then.
2 of your previous actions, so we can make it as one action, so you still have 2. So, boom, Red comes in next to you, grabs himself, pulls himself out of the ground, and you got 2 actions left.
Okay, I
I'll
think...
say you're still on top of Kyoko, because she hasn't turned into a human form. So, Wherever Kyoko goes,
and I'm
you
fine
go.
with just being thrown off whenever there's a transformation. I'm just
Okay.
along for the ride
I
until
don't
then.
need to transform. This is my actual form. This is my
That's
normal
true, yeah, no,
form.
right.
When I go with the other one, it's like I'm pretending.
It's to make you comfortable.
Yeah, it's to make you comfortable, really.
Yeah, I think I'm. Can I do a telekinetic projectile? I never get to do this.
Go for it. You can do anything you're allowed to.
Yeah, so summons red, and then just like, what's something that's like discarded on the ground that I can just like scoop as we're running by here?
There's
Just
plenty
like
of
some-
rocks, shells. The beach itself is like a rocky beach, so it has a bunch of rocks. There's anything you can imagine being on a dock. There's crates. There's bits of equipment around. So
I think
there's
a crate would
chain-
be fun.
Okay.
So, just like as like we're darting by like a stack of crates, I just like magically grab hold of one of these things, not even knowing what's in it, not really caring, and just hurl it at the direction of this angelic demonic being.
Interesting. Go for it. Yeah, roll that.
Rolled a 16 on the attack, so that's not.
It does
Great.
miss, unfortunately.
It looks cool.
Maybe it does hit Nemesis, but it just breaks. Like, bam, like you're hitting
Oh
like
yeah, no,
a
it
pillar of
turns out
wood.
it's an empty crate. It's
They
just
kind
an
of
empty
look down and they
wooden
go,
crate.
oh, right, the little guy.
For creativity of using just whatever's around you, these guys running against Giovanni are bringing weapons and arsenals into the city, and that was full of petrol. So you have Nemesis, who is now coated in this oil that it hit. So it shatters and it coats over to you.
Oh, I like this.
This is only
It's all
happening-
rainbow.
Because I did a situational awareness roll and it was a nat 20 for you, so we had to do something fun. I got a nat 20 today. Kyoko.
Cool.
All right. I think Kyoko's seeing what's going down here. Is going. Oh, but can I do this?
Yeah,
Problem
this is
is
so
that-
nice. I don't have to track health points. I don't have to. This is so great. We need to have
Yeah.
PvP more often.
The problem
We
is that you're
should.
so.
I love
how
this.
far up is
35.
30? Oh, 35? Could I jump into the air and then cast a spell?
If you roll me in acrobatics, beat a 15, we can say yes.
All right. Because I have to be within 30 feet, I think, to cast this.
We'll stretch it. Theater of the mind. We can have fun.
Okay. We will try. Kyoko jumps into the air, and as she's jumping into the air, see if I can beat a 25.
Easily.
As my second action, she kind of hovers there for a moment, and it's like time stops for a moment. And do we call you Nemesis now? Is that what we say? Kyoko sees Nemesis multiple ways that this fight could change, like where they could die in these multitude of different ways, and she tries to tug at one of those options, and casting Impending Doom, and you hear some weird fox noises too, because I have to verbally say stuff.
What does the fox say?
It's like like something like that. That's what you're hearing. We'll see what you do. You have to do a save, DC saving, a will save of 24.
Oh my god. Okay. You could do this, Connie. Where do I find the will save on my sheet?
So
If
on
you go to the
character,
middle column at the top,
right
it says
under-
saving
Oh,
throws, and then it goes will.
I
Just
see.
click that.
all right, success.
Yeah.
You are unaffected for one round. On the second round, it becomes you become flat-footed, and then on the third round, you become. Oh wait, no, failure. The creature is immediately
Yeah.
No,
so
succeed is still something happens. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Succeed. The creature is unaffected for one round. On the second
but
round,
this
it
is a
becomes
critical
flat-footed.
success, isn't it? A 33
No,
to a
you're-
24?
No, it would need to be a
Critical
34.
would be 34.
Okay.
I missed it by one.
Ooh, just
Oof,
one,
yeah.
you missed it.
Yep.
Okay, so for the first round, you're unaffected, but next round, you'll become flat-footed, and then the final round, you'll become frightened 1. And that at the end of the third round, you'll take half damage, which
Okay.
I need to do 66 mental damage.
What?
18, so you'll take half.
At the end of the third round, right?
That
Yes.
is so low. 6,
I know,
2,
I
1,
rolled
2, 2.
2s and
Oh my
1s.
God.
It could have been a lot more damage.
It is what it is.
Such
It
are
is
the
what it
dice.
is.
They
Yeah.
giveth and
Alright.
they taketh.
And then
Yeah.
you see basically all the towels around her kind of move slightly, and she lands back on the ground. And with my third, wait, we get 3 actions, right?
Impending doom counts as 2 actions.
Oh, counts as 2. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Okay.
Makes sense because that could be very dangerous.
Yeah.
You start to see, for a moment, your mind is racked with time and the potential futures, and seeing Azuka being on your side, being against you, self-destructing. So many things could happen right now. And that makes you focus on that. So for the next year, you're going to be so focused, they become flat-footed. And then after that, the fear of what could be. All right.
Cool.
With that, Azuka,
Yeah.
if this is going for a minute, we got 9 rounds, but we're going to go with, if this is what we are attempting to do, because you are now a living vessel, I'm going to say we're going to make this best of 3. We have 1 win for the Duke.
Yeah. Okay.
If they get to, whoever gets to 3 first takes control.
Gets to 3 first.
Yeah. So now
Okay.
roll me 2 will saves. First one's for you.
Rock, paper,
Second one
scissors.
is for the Duke. 21.
for me. 15 for the Duke.
You got
Oh.
slammed into the ground. As that happens,
I grab his wrist and then wrap my legs around his arm and pull him down into an arm hold as I use some of the MMA fighting I've learned from my mom and start like pulling his arm in an unnatural way.
it's a 1-to-1.
Oh,
The
it's
Duke won
1
the
to 1.
first
now?
round.
Oh, he
Yeah,
did win the
Duke won
first
the
round.
first round.
Okay.
All right. So you do the reversal, get on top, and then you guys on the outside just see Azuka just staring as like the horn that had grown out starts to recede back as control. You guys see the physical changes on Azuka's body as this struggle for control is going on. Chuck.
Shoot. How risky do I want to be? Well, I got to move closer. So my first action is he's going to walk closer, kind of getting underneath where they flew up. So I'll walk my 25 feet forward so that I know they're within the 60-foot range.
Okay.
And I'm just going to shoot again for the time being.
Go for it. Do your double blab blab. Ooh. I'm sorry, is that a crit on the bleeding pistol
Nope.
right there?
It is not.
36?
It's a 19.
Oh, so close.
No, but a 36
oh,
is a
yeah.
critical success. Still.
It does?
Oh.
Yeah, because
So
your AC
you
is
take-
25.
24, but only 1 persistent bleed.
So now every turn you can take an action to roll against a persistent bleed, but it takes an action. So every turn now you will just tick down 1. So take 11 right now. I'll even
24.
mark.
No. If you said it's a crit, it's 24 damage, not 11.
You were right. Now is it 24 additional or 21 total?
It's 24 total. It's rolled separately.
Okay, just want to make sure. So
And then the 1
24 damage.
persistent. And then I assume a 29 also hits.
Yes, it does.
That's not a crit, so that would be 6 more damage. As Chuck says,
Got it.
now don't go flying away.
How much damage have you taken total,
Um.
Connie?
30.
I've been tracking it on my end.
Oh,
It's 11 plus 9 plus 24 plus 6. So whatever that is. I've been adding it up and subtracting from my
Cool.
HP.
There is
The more damage you put into Nemesis, you see the wings flicker and you see more of the feathers start to fall as the damage is represented not physically in their form, but more of the visage around them. Nemesis.
Oh, what would Nemesis do? Fuck it, why not? Nemesis, as the feathers drop down. Don't you know it's bad manners to hit someone who hasn't hit you first? Might I draw all of your attention to the fact that not once this entire time have I inflicted injury upon you, even though my nature compels me to? One could argue, perhaps, that I am the hero of this story, and you are the little villainous ants I should squash underneath my... No, Nemesis. The plan, remember the plan. Well, screw the plan, Nemesis! Asuka! And I don't think I need to touch you for this. I think you can just... I don't think this has a range necessarily. I don't see it here. I turned down to look at you 35 feet underneath me, like, embroiled in this mental soul conflict. And because I've charred you, and you're technically friendly to me, DM, would Azuka count as willing?
Depending on what you are trying to do, some things
I am
do
trying
require-
to give Azuka a profane gift.
Yeah. They're
Okay.
technically willing.
Do all of you understand why I was like, Connie's playing? Oh no.
Oh, I'm here for it. I love it.
I love it, but this is why I'm excited.
Yeah.
The horns glow from base to top. This bright gold that then suddenly turns black, like pure black, as like a beam, like forming like a circle between the horns, like an eclipsed sun. And like a beam of energy kind of shoots down toward you. Even though it looks aggressive, as it penetrates your chest, you don't feel pain at all. It is the deepest sense of pleasure, I suppose, that you could imagine. It's like this warm, fuzzy feeling spreads through your body, and you feel like invigorated. And for as long as this profane gift is active on you, you have a +1 status bonus to attack rolls, skill checks, and saving throws. Just to Azuka, I'm specifically not trying to give the dude any of this.
No, that's totally separate.
And I can technically communicate telepathically with you at any distance, see through your senses, and target you with suggestion through the telepathic link.
Y'all linked now.
We're linked. That's
As
3
long
actions.
That's not a normal combat thing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm done.
So you guys just see that happen. I'm curious, how is your profane gift physically altering, or does it even...
Wait, yes, you can't say that and have me say no.
I love
Do it.
the sense of another thing is trying to manipulate Azuka's form.
Yeah, what is the Duke's presence on your body like?
So you mean like the devilish feature?
Like physically? Yeah, does he manifest in any way?
It's kind of like a scales of like purplish and blues with an iridescence along it. So I think the only noticeable one is his tail that is out in the open. But there is some like faint scaling on his forearm as well that you can see.
It's like
I'd love to hear your input.
So my thought is either they can have the same horns, they could get like a sort of altered skin effect. How do you want to do?
Well, if we can go as far as a horn for as long as this is active, which might even happen after I leave, if I am able to escape, then I think exploding out of your forehead is like a jagged, broken horn. It's not fully formed yet, and there's just one, and it's like broken off kind of at the top, but it's a perfect obsidian mirror of Nemesis's horn. And they say, and once you have completed your metamorphosis into a demigod, you'll be granted your full horns, of course. And that's my turn.
All right, chat. If you're watching the after shows, you're going to get this. Maggie, we might get our team of unicorns.
I might have said something in an after show about
Tala, you're up.
Okay. I think in response to what was said to him, Mintala says, "You haven't hurt me, but you're hurting my friend." And Is it an action for Red to draw the rebar stick?
He has it equipped, so it's something that he could just use.
Okay, so he just has it.
Yeah, it's his weapon.
And then Mentala's gonna try something new because he's realized that at level 5, Evolution Surge gets heightened to 3rd, which gives it more options. And he's gonna say, Red, use the hammer and get him. And
Got it.
with Act Together, Red is going to slam the rebar stick into the ground and activate its ability to turn it into the Gravity Maul hammer.
So as the rebar hits, you hear this vibration start to resonate through the ground as Red lifts it up. Chunks of the floor get pulled up with it as it starts to adhere itself to the rebar, as this purple energy is now suffusing around and in between the rock.
At the same time, I use Evolution Surge, my focus spell, to give him a fly speed.
How is that represented? How do you want Red to fly?
I think it's just like from the back of Kyoko as we're darting around the battlefield. It's like he just reaches out his hands and then pulls up, and it's like rubble and debris just kind of scattered around start to like float and rise around Red, and then he just begins like as if some incredibly strong force is like straining, but just rises.
So the path energy that you see that suffuses all of the cities and the towns and the streets everywhere starts to flow into Red's feet as you curve the path energy into him, as this purple energy starts to suffuse every crack within him, as that gravity energy that you see suffusing the rebar starts to flow into him, and he just starts lifting off the ground and launches.
And so then there's one remaining action which he just uses to move into melee range. And unfortunately, that's all I can do right now, but we're ready.
Badass. All right. So with that, you now see, as it has been described, a brick house of a person running towards you. Through the air, flying, hurtling.
Slowly rising alongside.
Yep. Beautiful. Kyoko.
All right. I think I'm going to use one of my focus points, which I think moves my curse forward, or how does...
It goes to the next tier. So every time you use a focus spell, it advances the curse.
Okay, so I have my curse has advanced level 1. And I am going to use temporal distortion. Oh wait, no, because I have to jump up, right, to do it first. So my first action is jump. Let's see if I can jump. Oh my god. 29. Crit. Yeah. I'm jumping. And then, kind of similarly, but this time I think the tails very much distort, and you feel like this sense of alteration on your mind happening, Nemesis. But you have a DC, I think it's supposed to be not 21, but no, maybe that's right, 21.
Okay, that's a will save, right?
Yep, will save DC
Okay.
21. Ugh. You
I
are
see
saved.
something really quick. That was temporal distortion.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to see why it's different for a DC, because normally your DC was that. Yeah, that 24. Okay, we'll go with what that says. Fortunately, it does.
It fails. So there, you're unaffected by it. Never mind. Nothing happens. Kyoko jumps up. Tails get all distorted. Nothing happens.
You see that temporal shift start to alter around and start to affect the mind of Nemesis, but they are able to curl their wings in and fight it off as this shards of fractured time spiral out and dissipate into the ether.
Nice. And then I have
All
one more
right.
action, which is not going to be great for me. I think that... How close are you to me, Chuck?
I mean, he's basically underneath of Nemesis at this point, so I imagine we're pretty close.
Equidistant, 30 feet-ish.
30 feet.
Yeah.
All right. I will give you, I think, time skip. And this will allow you to basically, I push you forward in time and you are quickened. For your next turn, you can use an action only to step, stride, or strike. So you get an extra attack, or you can step or stride.
Mhm.
Oh. Interesting. I think I
I
have
usually
to
give this to
reload
Azuka, but Azuka's dealing with some stuff right now. He's not my friend, apparently.
You can use an action to reload and then use this extra to get that attack in.
And I think Kyoko just says to Chuck, maybe this will help. And I think she's not even going to try to talk to Nemesis. Not worth it. They're already going back and forth.
All right, then with that, Azuka,
Yeah. Okay.
let's get this. So you have that bonus for yours for that first
Yeah.
roll.
So I'm not gonna add it into the character sheet because I have to add it and take it away for the second roll. That's annoying. Just
Yeah.
add it on afterwards.
I believe you.
12. 12. And I win because of my +1.
You
so
win!
13.
You guys, you're at a stalemate. And
No, I win because of +1 from
Yeah.
From
So-
Profane Gift.
So, yeah.
in the action, you guys are at this stalemate. And then in the white space, the color of the energy that was infused into you hits into the dome of the sky, shoots down to the sides, flows into the center under you, infuses your energy. You grow the horn and you just boom, headbutt right into the Duke.
And can I, as I headbutt, I bring my head back again because I have them in like an arm lock between
Yeah.
my legs. I was told to consume, so I want to take a bite, like just bite down into this the Duke's hand as if I'm trying to
Okay.
consume.
With that, go up a level and draw upon anger. No side effects. And you now have one action in the fight outside of the white space.
Okay.
Hmm.
Outside of the white space. Oh.
Yeah.
So as I like for a second return to this realm, I see these people attacking my friend, I guess, because I'm charmed.
Yeah. Your friends are fighting each other.
Yep.
What do you want to describe the physical change that is the first level?
The first level of anger. I think it's my teeth. I think just as I bit into the Duke and started like gnawing at the flesh and bone, my teeth in the white space begin to sharpen and elongate, and then the same happens in real life as my teeth begin to sharpen and essentially become all like fangs as I whip my head to see these people, my friends attacking my friend. I don't know what. So, do I attack then? Because I know
It is
in
up.
D&D, charm, I think would let me attack my friends if I see them attacking.
The suggestion was to consume the devil inside. The
Yeah.
charm was to see them as an ally. So now you are surrounded by allies, and you can talk, you can run, whatever you feel Azuka would do in this moment, seeing all the friends. You could go and try to do non-lethal damage. You could try to go and subdue. Maybe try
Yeah.
to not attack, but to be like, guys, stop fighting. What are you doing?
Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. Because like I haven't seen, and as far as I'm aware, like I don't
Yeah.
think Nemesis has physically attacked anyone.
Nope.
So and I'm seeing everyone else physically attack Nemesis. So I'm going to try and subdue. I'm going to use
Chuck
the
is the
chain.
closest one to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna use the chain to try and wrap around Chuck and immobilize him.
So this would be a grapple.
Yeah.
He has to hit first, right?
It's a swing to hit, then a athletics.
Then a grapple. Okay, cool.
I feel like this is effective.
Hit the dirt.
Maybe
you're
it gives you a
your
plus
AC.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Reaction, beautiful. So as the horn
17,
grows, the teeth elongate, you see the bits of the devil form that are on them start to expand a little bit more as these like runes start to glow just faintly on Azuka's body. And then the chain, almost acting instinctively, flings up, lashes out at Chuck. Chuck hits the dirt. Does not hit.
You know what? I'm gonna, because Connie knows this. I enjoy being a villain. I want to use one of my last hero point to try to re-roll that.
Go for
Yes.
it. Go for it.
I enjoy being a problem. Let's see. How was that? 17 again.
Same roll.
Damn.
The
Exact same roll.
So you go to do a sweep. Chuck ducks down, goes under, the chain goes up. You spin around, spiral it straight up, and try to slam it down onto them. And he's able to roll out of the way. Classic
meant to
cowboy
be.
moves. Oh, this is cinematic as heck. Chuck, you're up.
All right. He's going to say, well, I have been known to be quite the skeet shooter since I lived in Tennessee and Utah. And he's going to reload his gun. I got to roll my intimidation check.
I love the intimidation check.
Okay.
I lived in Utah. Fear me.
Like,
He lived in Utah and
what the
survived.
fuck is a Utah?
25 in intimidation. That's a nat 20, by the way.
Oh
I
my
love
god.
that. What the fuck is a Utah?
You boy from the Midwest, be ready.
What is
That's a
happening?
nat 20, all right? Come on.
So what is your save? Because what nat 20s do is it bumps it up a level.
Yeah.
So
Intimidation check to demoralize, so
yeah, that's against will.
yeah.
I think that's
great.
What is that? A 20 something for me?
Yeah, 10 plus your will DC.
Mm-hmm.
10 plus 7.
Team would be 27.
Kevin, help me out. 27.
So 10
Yeah.
plus your 17, 27. That would make this a failure, but because it's a nat 20, it makes it a success, not a critical success, so a regular success. What does demoralize even do? Time to figure it out.
Demoralize makes you frightened for 1 round. Frightened 1.
Perfect.
The condition is frightened 1.
Which actually would make it then frightened 2 because of Kyoko's effect.
They don't stack.
Cool, frightened
but it would
one.
elongate it because it would just make it like another round if
Okay.
Kyoko's had like a round duration.
Perfect.
And then because that allowed me to reload, and I have the additional action, I have paired shots, which allows me to shoot both of them once.
Yeah.
And then I have the additional shot because of what Maggie gave me.
So, frightened makes you take a status penalty equal to the level of frightened. So for the next 2 rounds, you have a -1 on, I think, like everything.
Mhm.
Yeah, pretty much.
And these are my 3
Would that
shots, by the
affect-
way.
would
When
that
you add the
affect AC
condition,
as
it should
well?
automatically apply everything. Like I'm
Okay.
enfeebled 1 right now because I'm cursed.
So I'm going to go to Connie's thing. If I go to just...
If you go to conditions and you
fri-
click
oh.
frightened.
Click
I'll
frightened.
take over for a second. I'm going to put you at frightened 1. Okay, fantastic.
All right, so a 28 on my first roll, a nat 20 37 on my second roll,
Buddy,
and a
Utah
22
did
on my
good for
third
you.
roll.
My God.
I skeet
How much
shooting.
damage is that total?
So 13 from the first shot, 18 from the second shot, and 11 from the third if a 22 hits.
No, the 22 does not hit.
Okay.
You
So
are
it's
now
13 and 18.
the more damage you've done, the bullets pass through, the feathers start to dissipate from the wings as the 6 on either side have now shifted into 4. As they've combined together to keep her afloat.
And also in this round, all of a sudden, Betsy's lights are seen over the horizon down the road.
As you guys hear in the distance, as Betsy is about to arrive. Then with that, it is Nemesis. Your form is starting to alter.
What the fuck is Utah? You tell me the truth of this. You know what? Forget it. Whatever it is, whatever demon lord you hail from, I don't want to know of it. I will leave that be. Azuka, remember this gift I have imparted upon you. You are stronger than you think. You can eat the devourer. You can conquer the unconquered. You can make disloyal Asmodeus's most loyal. That is what he is. Do not be fooled into thinking he has any allegiance toward you. His only allegiance is toward that humiliation of an archdevil. This has been fun, my friends, but I'm afraid fate calls, as Kyoko would say. I have other things to attend to, and I am feeling a little naked without my third pair of wings. So please excuse me from this, and I leave the rest of you a parting gift. And darlings, if you could, don't attack Azuka, because they're my favorite. I do have to pay you back for the slight of attacking me with a lot of bullets from earlier, though. So consider this us being even. And I am going to... Kevin, we talked about this earlier, but I believe I have Abyssal Pact prepared. So I now do the thing. I do the Abyssal Pact. I unleash it. So do I have to roll for that?
No. You
Okay.
summon... Okay. I need to know what level.
Summon.
Oh,
I
good
should just
point.
say I'm such a bit. I'm trying so hard to be like in character, be like, grim and dark. I was like, this is so fucking cool.
It is pretty cool.
What level do you cast it at? That is the question.
I think I only have access to it at first level as a
Okay.
ritual.
Yeah. Then with that, you are able to summon forth Quasits, which are level 1 demons. Are you also trying to... I'm going to message you really quick.
Yes.
Horribly written, I know. Okay. So
Secrets.
describe what that looks like and have the Quasits spawn from it. I'll leave that
Yes.
how that looks to you.
Nemesis folds their remaining, now like fully demonic wings over their beautiful, wretched form, and they kind of spin. And from the gust, I think kind of zapping into existence with like this like blackened abyssal demonic magic are these Quasits, who I'll leave their description up to you, Kevin, but they're a lot less beautiful. They're very disgusting in comparison to Nemesis. They just kind of, they like spawn and they like let out this kind of leer. They have been charged with not hurting Azuka, but the rest of you are fair game as they start to drool from like gibbering teeth and they start to look ready for like a new meal of adventurers. And Nemesis stops spinning. For a second, their wings are splayed 12 feet long on either side, and they're haloed against, I think, moonlight streaming in from a broken window that's riddled with bullet holes behind them, and they say, "Until next time, darlings." And poof, they vanish in a pillar of black light as they
So
cast
as-
Dimension Door.
The black light consumes Nemesis's form. These small-sized creatures, these very small, almost like the demon form of Mintala at this point, with these long claws and bat wings, fly out, just getting, and they, 3 of them spiral out towards the rest of you. And as the moonlight shines on the fade of the Dimension Door, the camera pans to Azuka with the chain ready, horn grown in anger, and the rest of the party ready to finish this fight, as we are going to pan away across Lake Michigan up into the sky, and we're going to end facing the camera at the moon and end today's session.
My God.
Holy shit.
Madness.
That was a lot. That was a lot.
Goddamn
So
cool.
sorry.
That was so cool. All right.
No, that was
lighten the
perfect.
music, lighten the
Yeah.
the vibe. Woo!
Cliffhanger 2 weeks in a row. This is great.
Well, we hope that you all enjoyed that. We certainly did. Nothing worked against you, Connie. Oh my God, we're gonna have to do at least like a 5-minute after show. I know we're way over, but so that we can wrap things up here. Thank you so much for everybody that tuned in today and sticking with us a little longer. Of course, we do want to thank our sponsor today, Roll20. Thank you so much, Roll20, for sponsoring us.
Ooh.
If you are curious how we're doing our dice rolls, all of our maps, and all of our character sheets. I needed to sneeze. You can go check it out over there at Roll20. We do have a nice little link down below if you're on our Twitch channel, as well as probably in all of our other places. We also have merch. If you want to support us and rep us, head on over to designbyhumans.com/shop/roll4it and get yourself some cool swag. And of course, we want to extend a huge thank you to Connie for joining us as a guest. Thank you to our supporter, Finley Shards. We super duper appreciate you supporting us. And of course, if you want to support an episode like Finley, you can become a legend tier and above and play in a private GM game, which will affect the session potentially, like the last one did. And yeah, it can be very exciting. And of course, there's a bunch of other goodies over on our Patreon, like the after shows, and our character sheets will be coming soon. And I'm sure we're going to maybe see some part of Connie sheets. Could be cool. And then, of course, head on over to Twitch. If you're not already here watching us live, you can subscribe to us. You can see the VODs in advance as well and get access to some emotes. And you can head on over to our YouTube channel where you can become a YouTube member and get access to some of those emotes. And whether you're a YouTube member, Twitch subscriber, or a Patreon supporter, you can get access to our private Discord where I'm sure people are going to have lots of thoughts. There were a lot of name drops that Connie did. So if you know what those mean, which I don't know if our characters do yet, we'll have to figure that out and deal with whatever that is. But there's some big players on the field right now. And of course, we understand that not everyone can support us in a monetary way. So, take care of yourself first. But there's lots of not monetary ways to support us, like watching us live here on Twitch, making clips while we're live, watching us on YouTube, subscribing, liking, commenting, and of course, following us on Twitter and Facebook and liking and sharing and retweeting and commenting in all the places. And with that, I'm going to give all these wonderful people a chance to say where you can find them at, because not only are they amazing RPers here for our Roll For Art family, but of course, they do lots of amazing other things on the internet and other spaces and in IRL. So first and foremost, our lovely guest, I'm going to let you, Connie, go ahead and say where people can find you at and what you're up to when you are not trying to murder our entire party except for Azuka.
Well, yes, it is me. Thank you so much for having me on. This was such a blast. Thank you, Maggie, and thank you, Kevin, and everyone else, Bentham, Tyler, and of course, Drac. It's such a pleasure to play with you all and be facilitated by you. When I'm not here playing a very hot evil demon, you can find me as the game master and creative producer for Transplanar RPG, which is an all transgender, people of color led dark fantasy TTRPG show set in an original non-colonial anti-Orientalist multiverse. We are currently on hiatus right now between our first and second main campaigns. Our podcast backlog is catching up, so if you like fully polished background music, mixed very well audio podcast things to listen to, we are Transplanar RPG wherever you pod your casts. And right now, to help bridge the gap, we have some hiatus content happening. I am producing a series of God Killer one-shots, which is an original PBTA game system I've written, designed for one player, the God Killer, and one GM. God. If that sounds interesting to you, this weekend, Saturday at 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time on Twitch at Transplanar RPG, Persephoroth, also known as Sephi, is going to be playing God to Jess Parson of Dungeon Run to her God Killer. So they're gonna have their own spin on the game, their own spin on the one shot. It's gonna be kind of like Beauty and the Beast meets Bluebeard's Bride, based on what I've seen, like a dark fairy tale. So definitely tune in for that. We're announcing really awesome guests of pairs every week, and that will go on until the debut of Campaign 2 on Transplanar RPG's Twitch channel, which will be Saturday, June 24th at 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. And I'm done talking now. You can follow me across the internet at ByConnieChong, BYCONNIECHANG. TikTok and Twitter are the main places where I'm active. And now I'll pass the baton back to you, Maggie.
All right. Thank you so much. And next up, we've got Bentham Plays. Where can people find you at when you are not hurling your little rock monster into the sky? No, I'm just kidding.
You can find me on my Twitch channel, which for whatever reason is called Manglepork, or on my YouTube channel, which is Manglepork Gaming, where I do Let's Plays or occasionally lore videos these days. Maybe we'll see if I do more of that. Been playing Barotrauma, gonna play more Barotrauma. Also, recently streamed from the floor of Insomnia Gaming Festival, which was really cool. very new thing. So yeah, that's. I'm not up to much really because I've just come back from that. It's been a busy week, but I do want to read out because I don't want to probably have an after show today, so I was going to read out a message from the chat by Fiddle the Baptist. Can Connie teach me to talk? I think
I know. See, now you guys
is what
know
we're all
why.
taking away from this.
You guys know why I said I wanted Connie to write my obituary. You understand now. Next up, we've got Chuck Spadina, played by Tyler. Where can people find you at when you are not pew-pewing in all the places and, confronting your father who abandoned you and now is alive, but you thought he was dead? You're muted.
Muted.
Not well, apparently. You're not taking it very well.
He's speechless.
Well, you can find me over on my podcast, which is now video episode just posted, first video episode exclusive to Spotify, called Go My Favorite Sports Team. It's a comedy podcast based around teaching my friend sports. So if you don't know sports and have friends that know sports and want to kind of understand them, or just are interested in seeing what kind of humor comes from talking about sports, go check that out. It's over on Spotify, video exclusive. Everywhere else you can listen, wherever you pod your casts. Stealing that from Connie. But yeah, that's pretty much where you'll find me.
All right, perfect. And next up, we've got Drek, who, little star of the show here, is getting a lot of attention. What are you doing when you're not getting all that attention?
I'm on Twitter and Twitch in a bunch of different actual plays. You can follow me on Twitter at Draconics. That's DRAKONIQES. Like I said, I'm in a bunch of TTRPG projects, whether it's writing or performing or just producing them. I think the only thing I will shout out is on Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern, I'm in a campaign called The Cases of Costa Vega, where me and my friend Caitlin play detectives, basically. We don't have licenses and we're not officially detectives. We're just kind of like two goofballs who end up solving murders and crimes and stuff like that. It's very much like Psych or Monk, those kind of shows. Also, it premiered yesterday, but every Wednesday at, I believe, 1:30 Central, I'm in a campaign called Stormforge, another Pathfinder campaign, where I play a character named Callisto, who's actually a gunslinger, a lot like Chuck Spadina. And yesterday ended with... It was a lot for the first episode, and as a gunslinger, I'm in a place where I should not be, is all I'll say. But if you want to see how that's going to turn out, follow Captain Robear, that's Captain in ROBEAR, on Twitch every Wednesday.
So are you saying that being charmed and suggested and friending some kind of crazy nemesis is okay?
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
All right.
I mean, I'm not dying, so that's cool.
Okay. And of course, last but not least, we have Kai. Where can people find you at when you are not sicking our friends on us, I guess? Making us think that we have friends and then taking them away.
Hey, I just facilitate it. They decide what they want to do. My name is Kevin Thompson, aka Kai Bear. You can find me on all the big T's of social media, Twitch, TikTok, and Twitter at KaiBearVO and KaiBear on Twitch. If you are going to be at Gen Con in August, me and Maggie actually are going to be running Kobold Press's new system there. So if you want to get a game DM'd by us when that becomes available, look us up.
All right. And of course, I'm Margaret Crone. You can find me at Margaret Crone in all the places. I do lots of things on the internet. If you want to find them, just follow me and I will let you know whenever I'm doing them. I also make games and video games for a living. And if you want to check out the game that I'm currently working on, you can check it out at Ashes of Creation in all of the places. And that is going to be it for us today. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see if we can do an after show, but I know it's gone quite a little long here. So if we don't see one, that's why. But we hope to see you all next week for another crazy episode where we've left off on a cliffhanger of potentially having to battle Azuka and some demons. So, yay.
Whoa.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.